What's up, everybody? Welcome to Value Town. I'm ChanManV and Gaara's here, of course, and L0rinda is joining us. Yo. First time L0rinda on the show. How's it going, man?
It's going good. I'm looking forward to a couple of hours of card reviews and talking to you guys about everything Hearthstone, I guess.
Yeah, let's hope it's not like a full couple hours here of talking about.
Well, you know,
I'd love to, but I don't know if our audience would love to sit there for 120 minutes. I get this complaint, man. When it's 90 minutes, it's like just right, But when it's like 120 over, then it's like, man, like who's got time to like click on this and watch this for 2 hours, So it's hard to please everybody, but definitely happy to have you on. You're my British guest checklist is now got another notch under it, so definitely
that list gets longer and longer, right?
It does. It does.
We can't play the game, so we have to talk about it. Sorry, Boar.
Good stuff. Gaara, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good.
Yeah, better than yesterday, right?
Okay. Better than yesterday.
Better than yesterday. That's all we want to hear. That's definitely all we want to hear. But yeah, guys, another pretty crazy week. Lots of cards, and this is a full week of card reviews. Unlike last week where we had maybe 4 days. So we've got over 20. I think we got 25 altogether if you include this new one that Savich just had too. So lots to talk about, and to be honest, I don't think there's too much more going on right now to really catch up on in terms of news and stuff. So want to start off just obviously talking to L0rinda here, given that we've never had him on, and just kind of get up to speed with what you've been up to, dude. So yeah, what you been doing?
I just got back from Oslo last week for one of the tour stops there.
Nice.
A happy story for me because I watched Turner, who won it, come from being this sort of quite nervous, good player who makes a lot of mistakes into this now very comfortable, solid pro. He still makes a few mistakes like really silly gameplay errors, but his strategy is brilliant. And also Faley was in that final, who Gaara will know. He's been around the scene just forever and ever. And it's so nice to see him get to a final. So really nice story, that one. It's a really strong field as well. So that was good to see.
Yeah, how was Norway? Man, I always hear good things about Norway, but I've never actually been
Expensive.
There. Yeah, that's the one thing that or people say that the very first thing they say about Norway is that it's expensive, and a lot of people didn't go because of how expensive it is over there.
Yeah, so. I feel like I'm going to get like Norwegian Tourist Board contact me soon and tell me to shut up because I've said how expensive it is so many times. Well, but it really is. I went to Kiev the week before, and it was 15 times more expensive in Norway than Kiev.
15 times?
Literally, not exaggerating. Various products you can compare. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Holy smokes! So, that means McDonald's is like $50 over there for a burger.
It was 14 or something.
14? Oh my god!
Like for a Big Mac meal or something like that. Yeah.
Okay, that's a lot. That's definitely a lot.
Literally really expensive. And then tomorrow we're casting Copa as well. The Copa one, which has got a lot of really strong players qualified through the global qualifiers for that. So HCT, the tour stop's going pretty well.
Yeah, Copa. This is the second one, right?
Yeah, this is the second one already.
This is the second one. Cool. Yeah, they've been definitely doing
their full series.
Yeah.
Race, the defending champion, qualified again, which is some feat. So see if you can do it twice in a row.
That's definitely not easy to do. So look forward to that. Where's that going to be? That's going to be on the Copa channel, or is that?
That is on Copa America _EN for English 1. You'll find it. Just scroll around.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. All right, well, that's great, man. It's going to be, I think this winter season just ending, and there's plenty more to come, in the near future. So yeah, we'll keep trying to hopefully catch some of these events, because I still feel like a lot of the times it has to do with where they are, right? When it's like in Bangkok and the times are tough, right. But I still feel like a lot of people are missing these events when they're happening, and. Let's get the events to start showing up on the client, please, or something like that. On the battle, cool, the BattleNet client, something.
And the idea of these is to get more of the smaller guys seen as well. There's still massive names that get there, but also see some of these guys when they turn up with their points at playoffs and stuff. Sometimes we go, how did he get all these points? Well, now we get to see it. But like you say, if that was an in-game button and client button, you could click and say, hey, let's watch now.
That would definitely be great. Okay, well, 5 minutes of non-cards. I think that's probably good enough. Why don't we jump into some cards? We definitely got some Q&A and stuff at the end too. But before we get started with that, I just want to let folks know that this episode is sponsored by ShipStation, which is a great shipping service if you are a vendor, and we'll definitely talk a lot more about it whenever we just kind of talk about a few cards first. Also, of course, Value Town is part of HS Replay now, so obviously go to hsreplay.net and check out some awesome stats. And we actually have a new article out too today. It's a fun article about Millhouse Mana Storm that Bainey wrote, so you can check that out too if you're ever curious about what the most epic Millhouse Mana Storm turn has ever been. I think there's one where somebody's spent over 60 mana on, which is like amazing, or at least one Millhouse that allowed somebody to spend 60 mana for free. It's like crazy, insane. But anyways, check that out. But we want to get right into these cards. So I try to divide these cards into at least classes so that we could have some kind of organization to this. So this one's actually one of the ones that came out recently. 6 mana, 5/5 Toki, Time Tinker. It's a mage card, legendary. Battlecry, add a random legendary minion from the past to your hand. It's like, what is the past? I mean, these legendaries I used to dream about, like in the days of. So apparently, the past means in the wild format, and it's not limited to the ones that are just in the wild format, right? It's limited. It just includes the ones in the wild format, right?
Yep. Actually, Play Hearthstone has replied to Admirable, who asked that on Twitter, and they confirmed it's every legendary that will always be in wild.
Okay.
So this card changes when standard rotation happens.
Oh, okay.
This card changes when standard rotation.
So it's just wild cards.
Yeah. It's just wild cards, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So it'll just have like legendaries that are in all of Hearthstone. That's basically what this means. So okay, so it includes Ragnaros, includes Sylvanas, includes like some of our old time favorites. But in the end, it's just a legend. So I kind of compare this to just any legend where you would just draw a legendary minion, just off the draw. So what do you guys think of this? I mean, this is a draw a card 5/5 for 6 mana.
I think random legendaries have got a reputation for have got slightly worse over the years. So having old ones probably means it's better than we instinctively think. From a design point of view, this card's great, by the way.
Yeah.
I think that people will have a lot of fun from this. It'll introduce people who are new to the game to Wild and all that good stuff. As a card you play, maybe it has a slot in really greedy mage.
Okay. Yeah. Maybe. Yeah, I mean, I like you said, from a design standpoint, I think that this card is the only card that takes into account wild, right? Like that we have that can actually connect standard to wild. So they're willing to do that.
It's something they do a lot, is remind us that it's a virtual card game as well, rather than a real life card game.
Yeah.
Like you couldn't do this in any physical card game. This is something they do that says, hey, we're a virtual card game. We can have fun with this.
Yeah. But it's just cool to know that they're willing to do it. They're willing to actually somehow include wild cards into standard. Yeah. So that's kind of nice.
Like people really seem to like this card from what I've seen. Like they're like, because all the crazy stuff you can do with it. And I think just from viability standpoint, the stats are just too weak for a 6-drop, I would say, moving forward. So I don't think like in competitive decks you would play this card. It's just because the average legendary minion is not too powerful. And now that you can get such a huge variety, like the RNG aspect of it is just, I think...
yeah.
Is the average legendary not that powerful, though, if we include wild? I know the average legendary in standard is definitely kind of weak, but if we're starting to include Reno Jackson and Dr. Boom and stuff...
Yeah, but I think you still want the consist. I don't think you can play 6 mana 5/5 when you can,
like get Millhouse. Yeah, okay.
Wait, Millhouse is great. What are you talking about?
Wait, doesn't Classic actually count? If Classic doesn't count, maybe it's better. Because Classic is still in the game. It's not from the past, right? Actually, this is what I didn't know.
Yeah, so if let's say Classic, make it more interesting, if Classic's not in and current Standard's not in.
Yeah, if it's only...
Yeah, if it was only wild, like basically the difference between wild and standard and only what's in wild only, that's much better. That's like a lot better. It's like way better.
if it says from the past, you can't have like classic, right? Because we still play classic.
Yeah, it's got to be cards that we can't play, right? That's kind of what it's saying.
Then it won't be better. Definitely better, right?
Yeah.
Or?
Yeah,
Is
so
it?
I think what it does is, like, guys, I think what it is that it's all the, think of it more like it's all the expansions that have been retired. So all the legends from those. Yeah, I think that's.
I mean, it's
the
called
right
a
way
time
to teach it.
tinker, right? So it's not very good time tinkering if you pull out a card you just played.
So if that's the case, I mean, I still think this is pretty good. It's hard to say if it's, viable from a competitive standpoint because of how random it is. But if you're just looking at purely as a value card, just something to draw me something that potentially has even more value, then this is a pretty good card. Maybe something that you would play again, like an Elise type of play. You throw this kind of card. We've never played Elise in a mage, or at least I don't remember an Elise in a mage. Maybe we did at some point with Big Mage, but our Big Spell Mage. But I haven't in the recent history. I don't remember an Elise in it.
I mean, it feels about the same as Syndragoza, just as a total.
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
But Syndragoza is, I think, much better than this card. Because it has great synergy with the Jaina hero power.
Yeah, for sure.
And it gives you 2 legendaries, and it has good stats, like decent stats. And it only sees occasional play.
Yeah.
So I think a card like this is just.
So what do people love about it then? Like you said, a lot of people like this card.
Yeah, because you can get Ragnaros and
oh,
crazy
I mean,
stuff.
okay. So from a fun game standpoint, of course, yeah. The flavor's great.
Yeah.
Like L0rinda was saying, the design's cool, but the viability of it, I'm not too sure about that.
Yeah. Fair.
Okay, let's move on to, let's see, Hunter. Hunter had a ton of cards. It's like this was the Hunter week. So we've got. Oh, whoops. I think I got too many there. Okay, we're going to show 2 first, and then we'll show 3 afterward. So we got Rat Trap. Another trap. 2 mana, of course. Epic secret. After your opponent plays 3 cards in a turn, summon a 6/6 rat. I mean...
I think it's a very nice tech card. And when you play it as a one-off. It makes it harder for people to play around. And it could be like a very good meta card as well. Like, if something like Miracle Rogue is like the meta or one of the strongest decks, then this is like, or like a Quest Mage, something like that. How do you play around this? It's almost impossible.
Yeah, but at that point, when they're playing that many spells, isn't it too late? Like you're in
I was
big
wondering
trouble.
that, yeah.
Like a 6/6 at that point is probably not a huge play. Like
I'd rather say at end of turn summon a 6/6 rat, so they can't kill it on the turn they're doing or whatever they're doing to play all these spells. I'd like the 6/6 rat to be guaranteed to be there, but as it's not.
But it's also 3 cards. Maybe like against an aggressive deck, playing 3 small minions is not. I've never really counted like the average cards my opponent plays per turn.
Right.
But I'm pretty sure like a super aggressive like Token Paladin or so plays 3 cards in a turn. A turn mid game. I guess you have.
I think it would have been much more interesting if it was played 2 cards and then the rat was smaller.
Then it's 2p. I think.
No, the rat would be smaller. It wouldn't be like a 6/6. But because like playing 3 cards, that's easy to play around. I feel like that's very easy to play around. I mean, Cat Drake is hard, but Rat Trap, I don't see that.
I think it's 100% like a tech card, right? If those decks are meta that play a lot of cards in a turn, like Miracle Rogue.
Okay.
Like a Miracle Rogue has to play a lot of
They're going to do 3 in a turn, probably after turn 6 or something like that.
That's what I was saying about a Wish It Summon the Rat at the end of turn, because one of those cards, their 4th card is Sap.
Yeah, so, and then just send it back, right?
Yeah.
But maybe that 6/6 rat's only a 2-drop.
Yeah, it won't be expensive, I shouldn't think.
No, it's going to be a 6-drop. Come on. We all know that. There's no way it's cheaper. There's no way it's going to be a good deal to replay the rat. Okay, well, I don't feel like that's going to be a super strong. Maybe it's a tech card, but it still feels like a reach for people trying to play that one. It seems like all the rat cards, except for Dirty Rat, it seems like all the rat cards have just been so. It's not a.
I think as a tech card, you'd rather just play explosive, right? Anyway.
Yeah.
You're scared of just jumping a hand.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you say, it's the sort of card you shouldn't forget about. So.
Yeah. Yep. Next thing we got Wingblast. It's a 4-mana spell, rare. Deal 4 damage to a minion. If a minion died this turn, this costs 1. Okay, so pretty easy way to get a discount on this. And, obviously a 1 mana 4 damage is great. But it looks like you have to hit a minion though, so it's nothing that you can go face with. Is people going to play?
I feel that's the way forward for the deck. I think we need to look at this point of the expansion as a whole and say this is the future of Hearthstone. They want us to hit minions with stuff. They don't want us to hit face.
Yeah.
So I think this might be a bit more powerful than it looks at first glance, because hitting minions, I think, is going to be a big thing. I know it's a big thing now, but I mean, it's going to be the absolute center of everything to be able to kill minions. So 4 damage for 1 mana, I think, is going to be really good. And I think you'll be able to set it off so easily.
And from what I've seen is a lot of pros were tweeting about how insane this card is.
Okay.
It's absolutely busted. And I think the reason for this is obviously dealing 4 damage to a minion for 1 mana is always good. And that's the point. It's always good. Especially for Hunter. And Hunter really struggles at controlling the board, I would say. You have the bow since the beginning of time. But besides that, all your removal cards are really bad. Hunter's Mark got nerfed. It's now 1 mana. It's oftentimes very clunky, but it's still the second best removal card besides Kill Command. So Hunter really struggles. I think Quick Shot rotation really hurt Hunter the most. You needed that. And 4 damage for 1 mana will be huge. It's always good, you get your Hymen out and then you maintain the tempo with cheap removal cards like this one. You can combine it with the bow, to take out big minions and stuff like that. I think in the actual game, it will feel insanely powerful.
I wonder, so I agree. I actually think it's one of the best cards in the set. I do wonder if sometimes you get trapped, so your opponent gets board control, and now you're stuck with this 4 damage for 4 mana in your hand because you've lost the board. You can't kill a minion this turn, and so maybe it snowballs against you that way. But overall, I think it's great.
Yeah, I mean, that's the worst case scenario for the card. And I mean, with the best case being so good, it makes up for it. There has to be some element to it that's a drawback.
I think that's a good alternative to just giving every class board clear, insane board clear cards, right? Giving Hunter very good individual single target removal.
Well, it's like we saw with the Mastiff too, right? I mean, I feel like they're using different techniques to create this type of reset the board scenarios for Hunter, which Hunter's needed. We haven't gotten these crazy clear the board, Psychic Screams and things like that for Hunter. So they're doing it incrementally, with these more single target type of things. So this card's great. The only thing I would say about this is, when you get cheap cards like this, there always is the issue of just card power, right? Just running out of cards for Hunter. And we have Rockalar, that we definitely have that kind of play these days with Spell Hunter. But, it might be more difficult to figure out how to, have a minion die, without, having a minion die and then using this to really get board. Or
I feel like this is a super aggressive card, not really a defensive card.
Oh, really? Okay.
So you play a load of cheap stuff, then you just kill their one thing that's in the way and just keep hitting them.
Okay.
It's all backwards to how it first looks, but I feel that.
But how do you kill that minion? If you have
one of your minions into it.
You've got a real small 1/1.
3/5. You put a 1/1 in, Wingblast it, hit them with the rest of your army.
Okay.
And then you just go all in right from the start.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, this card, I think, very few people have said this card is bad. So I'm pretty, I think unless we're all wrong, which has very rarely happened. It's happened before, but it very, very rarely happened. Then I think this card's going to be good. It's good. It's great to see that Hunter, get some cool, tools like that. Some more tools for Hunter, given that we have 3 more of these. We've got a 4 mana spell. We can just getting lots of spells, man. This is Spell Hunter, and we get into more spells. Dire Frenzy, common card, give a beast +3/+3. Shuffle 3 copies into your deck with +3/+3. So whatever you buff with this +3/+3, you'll shuffle 3 of those into your deck, like Kingsbane style, that they have getting a +3/+3 on it too. So, you'll get some crazy awesome card with a lot of value in it if you can get to it.
If you can get to it.
Yeah, that's the theme of Hunter, if you can get to it. Yeah.
I really don't like the design of this card. It's extremely powerful. It feels like the Nerubian Ambusher from Rogue, right? if you would play a mirror, like
yeah.
you have to draw it. If you draw it, it's absolutely busted. If you don't, you play a 4 mana +3/+3 buff, right?
Yeah.
I don't like that the draw RNG aspect. It really is so impactful on how good this card is.
Yeah, and we can't draw as Hunter right now, so it's like
yeah, you can track. I think tracking is
okay.
kind of sick.
You can track one of these 3 guys, basically.
I mean, it's gonna be insane, right? Whatever minion you buffed, and you should be able to play it the turn after when you spend 1 mana to track for it. I'm pretty sure.
It could be quite slow.
Yeah.
I think we're going to be in a slower world, so we have time, but I think it's going to be pretty slow. So I'm not convinced it's that great, but I can see how powerful it is if you get it going.
I mean, it depends on how you hero, right? It's very similar to the ambusher. Like, if you keep drawing them, it's going to be insane. It will be absolutely busted. Like, if you draw them immediately, it's almost guaranteed a win, because you will play this in a minion in a mid-range hunter.
Like a mid-range hunter for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
You kind of wonder. You kind of want to hit this on cheaper minions, right?
Yes, for sure. And then, like a Houndmaster, you play it in a deck where you played Houndmaster in. And
The new one or the old one?
The old Houndmaster.
Okay.
You just puffing curve something on the board. You have like still kind of is it still in the game? Kind of going
Well, you have to give it to a beast, right? So.
Yeah, but in mid-range hunter you play beasts till turn 4.
Oh, you're talking about like if we were kind of the same for turn 4 play. Okay, that's what you mean. Yeah.
You just buff something +3/+3 and whatever, and then if you top deck the minion you buffed, and it's gonna be super insanely powerful.
Yeah.
And the new spell will really help you with that game plan as well. So mid-range hunter gets like insane buff with this expansion.
Well, I think you get a lot of value again. And if you can draw it, but again, we have issues with drawing with Hunter. You know, like I don't know.
That's why I say it's like
I don't know what the draw mechanic is. Like,
is it one of those cards that if it becomes a big part of the meta, isn't that hard to play around as well? Like you just start killing your opponent's beasts and they're stuck with this thing in their hand.
Could be.
So at first glance it looks powerful, but it's one of those cards. It's not hard to just say, okay, I'm going to kill your beasts and leave your other stuff.
But that's what you kind of did against Hunter anyways, right?
Right.
Houndmaster and Kill Command and all those.
No, I feel that this is broken because of that. It's just okay.
I don't think it's that good. my feelings is just I don't feel like it's that good. Just because it's so situational. Like you have to have board whenever you're going to play this card, and let's just say 50% of the time we don't. And this makes this card 50% of the time only viable. And then when you do land it,
less than 50% because we've got this in our hand.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's tough for me to see this working out super well. But I'd love to see a world where this kind of card would be awesome, because that means that's a long Hunter game. The Hunter game's probably going on for much longer than the average one goes on right now. And like I think Emeriss, if we just kind of jump over to Emeriss, I think that's like another card that's, the classic designing a Hunter card, which we've seen in the past, that gives you this crazy, awesome, cool value, but it's so late in the game. So this is a 10-drop, a legendary Emeriss 8/8 dragon. Battle cry, double the attack and health of the minions in your hand. So that's crazy, right? That's crazy amazing if you have any minions in your hand. So
I think it's impossible to assess this card. All my instincts say that it's terrible.
Yeah,
like it looks really bad. But I've just got this feeling that the new meta might be so slow that we should. All of these cards that look slow, we should put on some sort of watch list of actually with an asterisk of just like actually, I think this doesn't fit in Hearthstone that I know. But I'm not sure that Hearthstone that we know is going to be the same.
Can I say something about this?
Yeah.
So first of all, we have a Cutlass card. It's Tolvir, which is not played right now. With the Diaphragms, you can buff a 1-drop. And with the Tolvir, you draw 1-drops. You can draw the buffed 1-drops.
Okay,
with the
sure.
Tolvir. But if you use something that has impact on the board, let's say Stontas Boar. Stontas Boar with a 4/4 charger for 1 mana is really good to control the boar. And if you play Tolvir on 5 and draw 2 boars that are 4/4 charges, it's pretty good.
Okay, yeah, there's definitely something there. Yeah, deck building wise.
Emeriss, you can buff double their attack in your hand. Then you have like 1 mana, 8 attack. Just saying.
Yeah, we shouldn't joke either, because Call to Arms has shown how deck thinning as well as like rapid board
It
standing is
works.
kind of big.
Paladin
so, yeah.
has divine favor though, dude. Come on, man.
does.
That's
Yeah, I
that's
know.
like that's not even close. I mean, if Hunter had divine favor, I'd be loving this card. I'd be loving both of those cards, like easy. But
Hey, we can have Buzzard back
yeah, I would mind it. Yeah.
from
Those
2014.
are my favorite times. Was when Buzzard was super good. So yeah, Emeriss. I mean, if we have the pleasure of being able to play Emeriss, it will be very, very fun. And somebody just compared it to Don Honcho in the chat. It's not a bad example actually. And Don Honcho rarely got played. So it's got to be the meta's got to be considerably slower for us to be able to do that. Kind of finishing this off, we've got a last card here. It's a rare card, 3 mana, 2/5 Duskhaven Hunter. So it's in that kind of Duskhaven family or whatever it is that we've been seeing. Each turn, this is in your hand and it's stealth. Swap its attack and health. So
Looks fun on the coin. 5/2 stealth on
5/2.
turn 2.
Yeah.
Seems kind of good.
Seems like it would trade anything with.
Yeah, just kill your next turn.
Yeah.
I think it's another good design thing in that we're going to have to really think about the card. I suspect it's not good enough, but
it's a 3-drop. It's got to. If it's going to be a 3-drop, it's got to be real good for it to be played.
Stealth's good.
So
Stealth's good. They've nerfed a lot of stealth stuff over time, sort of either directly or indirectly by nerfing things around it. So,
but Hunter has so many free mana cards.
that's what I mean. It's like it's the power slot for Hunter. So this has got to be insane for it to be played.
Cards like the Red Pack and the Bear Shark, like a lot of these cards didn't make the card just because
sure,
you're too stacked.
It's crazy, yeah. Like Bear Shark not being played, that's like I think a lot of people
happen, right?
Yeah, it's crazy. Like it can't. I think if this card was a beast, I think that it would be played.
Oh,
like no question,
Oh, yeah.
it would be played. The fact that it's not a beast, it's like, oh man, that could have been such an awesome
with
card.
Houndmaster seems a little bit too OP somehow.
Oh, it needs OP. We're gonna get to Emeriss. It needs to be OP.
Sure.
So, okay. Well, that one's kind of questionable for me as to whether it'll be played. Okay, Warrior. We've got 4 Warrior cards. Let's see if see how Warrior gets. Oops, that's not it. Let's see how Warrior gets helped out here. Got a couple legendaries, starting off with a 7-mana Blackhowl Gunspire. It's a 3/8 minion. Can't attack. That's never a good start. Can't attack. Whenever this minion takes damage, though, deal 3 damage to a random enemy. So I'm
going to stop saying this later, I promise, but I love the design of this card as well.
Okay.
I don't recall a card like this being printed without taunt before. But it has virtual taunt. Unless they're actually killing you the turn you play it, they've got to do something about it. So they can still hit you in the face for 20 and just ignore it, but the fact it just sits there, they know you're going to do stuff with your Garrosh, your whatever next turn, and that you're going to do a lot of damage to things. If you put this in your deck, you can activate it. So they've got to find a way to take it on their terms. I think this is interesting.
Yeah. Gar, what do you think?
I think the problem with this card is what kind of deck would you play?
That's yeah.
I think just the current deck, honestly.
I mean, it's
Just
going to
stick one of these on the
involve
board and just
Garrosh.
keep shuffling whirlwind effects in and Garrosh and everything every turn, and off you go.
But what purpose? Like, you're not trying to burn anyone down with Warrior. It's just like a card that's there. It attacks a random target. It's just weird.
It would be much. It would have been much more
Forget the
fun in a
casting
bouncing.
cost.
It'd be a much more
How
fun card,
powerful.
bouncing blade, a world with bouncing blade in it. But
Yeah, you're not going to
Yeah.
defile this either.
you're not going to defile it anyway. So I mean,
know,
give me a
yeah,
break.
exactly.
Right? And it's like you're not going to do that for sure. But I mean, to Gar's point, it's like, okay, maybe you do some damage to the face. Maybe you remove the board.
Yeah.
And Warrior already has a ton of ways to remove the board.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not sure exactly.
And it's slow as well.
Yeah.
You need an entire turn 7 to just deploy this card. And then
Yeah, I
you
don't know
need-
why it's legendary either. I think if they want this card to
Yeah,
work,
you
it
can
needs to
play
be
it as
epic.
a mono.
It kind of makes. I mean, I'm not surprised it's a legendary or an epic the way it's designed. How did they choose 3 attack for this?
Yeah, like, why isn't it just a 0-8?
Yeah, it's like
Oh, I see.
Is it just arbitrary? Yes. So, like, I'm not even sure how to give this thing an attack.
I guess they want things that trade into it to die. They don't. The idea is it's mowing down the little guys. I think that's the idea. Whether it's going to work or not is different. And so if the little guys want to charge into it, it's like going to be some sort of suicide rush on the tower. Is the image in my mind.
But you would never do that though. Like if you're a
No,
paladin,
you
you would
probably how
never
you-
charge your guys into that thing. So
But if it's 0-8, you might.
yeah.
You might decide to take it down. So maybe they made it just big enough that you wouldn't do exactly what you said. You just don't want to kill your guys into it. You've got to find another way through.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not sure it's going to
It's
matter
an
too
intriguing
often.
card. I just don't know if this is the right, execution of the card. But it'd be cool if you just slam the card down and all of a sudden this tower just rose from within the card. That would be pretty sweet. They need to start going into that type of animation. That'd be awesome. So we'll see if this adds some kind of maybe some kind of finishing move for Warrior that we just not thinking of right now. But
No.
who knows? Darius Crowley, the next legend we got here, 5 mana 4/4 rush. Whenever this attacks and kills a minion, gain +2/+2. So this is like the enhanced Boogie Monster for Warrior. Boogie Monster, but maybe better. So what you guys would think?
It depends how good Rush is. It depends how much that minion trading we've talked about is important, because I think Rush is good.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're going to be trading minions more. And I think this guy survives most of the time. So he's 2 for 1. Depends if he's too slow or not. I'm sitting on the fence because I'm not quite sure how to... he takes down 2 guys a lot of the time, but is he quick enough?
It's good.
Yeah.
Definitely good. Also, Colento said it's very good. It's a good card.
After Colento said it, it's
What does that guy know?
guaranteed good.
5 mana for 4 charge is really good.
Yeah, I agree. I like it.
And that you get a buff, that's a huge upside. After you
Yeah,
get
because it just does it again turn after turn. Like,
It's potentially infinite, right? Like, I'm like in love with those kind of cards. I'm in love with, like, for some reason, I'll have these moments where I just throw in Gruul into some big deck, and just try and stuff, because there's something about the kind of Boogie Monster effect in this that are intriguing. And the thing about Boogie Monster, which of course is a meme, is that it needed a rush. Like I think if Boogie Monster had rush, then that card would have been actually interesting and possibly played. This is basically that, and I think the real question is whether the health is too low. I think that
protect
protects
him.
good.
No, if the health would be high, it would be absolutely broken.
Yeah.
It has to have like this low health.
Yeah.
But it's very good, and the 5 mana slot is also not so good, especially for Warrior.
Yeah.
Then having a powerful card for 5 mana is super awesome, and it works in curve with the weapon, so you can protect it as well, or try to protect it. It's a super powerful card.
Yeah.
it's a recurring theme that they actually, their weakest cards, they come back with the same effect much better.
Yep.
Once they've worked out, hang on, this doesn't work because...
It's good.
I like it.
Yeah, I mean, I like that progression. It just shows that they're reviewing their old cards. They clearly told us that they're not going to change old cards. So if they are going to iterate on them, it's good that they're figuring it out. And Rush is an iteration on charge, and with this card, you're kind of seeing that and seeing the powers of it and making some of these old effects viable. So I'm excited to see this card. This is like probably one of the few Warrior cards I'm super excited about, and that could really, really help the class. But moving on, we've got Deadly Arsenal, epic 6 mana spell. Reveal a weapon from your deck. Deal its attack to all enemies.
And my instinct is, what are the weapons going to be? But we can already see they're going to be Woodcutter's axe. Yeah, so... I mean, the ability for Warrior to clear a board is obviously ridiculously powerful.
Yeah.
But it depends how many small weapons you're playing.
All right, Gar, I'll let you go first on this one before I go on this one.
You have to play only expensive weapons for this card, and that's the problem, right?
Yeah.
What good expensive weapon is Warrior playing? None right now. You need to play the Scour weapon for 8 mana, but you cannot play only that. So you have to play the.
So you play Arcanite Reaper, and now you're playing an aggressive deck, and you're blowing up all your minions.
Yeah, at least Arcanite Reaper. It has to be the cheapest weapon because of then it's better than a Flame Strike for 6 mana, but you are hitting also your board.
Right, so you want it in either you want it in an aggressive deck with the big weapons, but then you blow up your own board, or you want it in a control deck, but then you need the small weapons to control the early board. I mean, maybe dealing 3 damage to everything for 6 as a kind of Flame Strike isn't as bad as we think. But
yeah, of course it's good, but the problem is Warrior doesn't have good weapons.
Yeah,
like, you need good weapons, good late game weapons for this to be good.
We will have 2 more years of this card in the rotation. That's worth noting.
Yeah.
No, seriously, like in 2 years' time, this might be the best card in Warrior. But right now, we don't have the weapons to back it up.
I mean, I guess you could be right about that. I mean, it could be really, really great later, but man, this card makes no sense to me. Like, it's with what Warrior needs right now, which is not board removal. Like, board removal is not that big of an issue for Warrior. So, incrementally, relative, just increase in power by having this. It's like the same thing as the Lord Godfrey was for Warlock. It's like they totally don't need this card, so like why did you add that? And then on top of that, the design of it is just strange. It's like right now we don't like to play too many weapons in a control warrior.
Big spell warrior.
Yeah, I mean like Gorehowl, right? We play Gorehowl. And, we could miss Gorehowl. Like, let's say we just have Gorehowl in the mulligan. This card's completely worthless.
Yeah.
So you have to play at least 3 weapons. And that's, like, what kind of deck plays 3 big weapons? Like, nothing except for face type of warrior.
There's this proviso with all of these cards that Dead Man's Hand is a card. So,
yeah,
setting up situations is a thing that could happen. But again, I'm just making a case for a medium-looking card at best.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this one, I'll give you it has potential in the future, but I just have no idea like what people would do with it right now. It just doesn't seem that good. Maybe they played instead of like a sleep with the fishes or something, but then they have to add some weapons to your hand. So it's 6 mana too. That's a lot. That's not an easy play for them. Okay,
maybe there's another weapon in this expansion.
Yeah, maybe there's something else that's just like an auto play. So this card all of a sudden
Woodcutter's Axe.
yeah, maybe it's Woodcutter's Axe, guys. 2 mana, so you can clear 2 mana for 6. You can do like a power shot for 6 mana here.
Now, that you have both of these cards in the same expansion is a bit weird, right?
Yeah, you have to remember, guys, like. It's not only clearing your opponent's minions, it's literally clearing your own minions too. So it's like, all right.
If you look at all these 4 cards, like you would play them in 4 different decks.
Yeah, I know, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I don't know, maybe you wouldn't clear your Blackhowl Gunspire with your Deathly Arsenal. There's a chance you don't actually kill that thing. Woodcutter's Axe is a 2 mana, 2/2 weapon. Death Rattle, give random friendly minions with Rush +2/+1.
I think I've been more positive than you guys so far, but I can't on this card. I just don't rate it at all. Maybe it's better than I think, but I don't like it at all.
I mean, obviously it depends on what else comes out, but with a Wasp, and then even with Darius, I suspect there's going to be another Rush card for Warrior coming out. I don't think this card's that bad.
Is more relevant. Like,
yeah, I don't.
If the +1 makes your Rush card survive instead of die, and then survives another turn, and you kill something with it,
because you
can set up a 3 for 2.
Warwick's died for this.
Warriors died for this. Well, Warax died. Oh, Warax died for this. Okay.
Yeah, I mean that's all you can see when you look at it, right? Is this isn't Warax?
Yeah, I don't know. I see the Wasp Woodcutter combo as pretty good if you have the coin. I think that's a pretty good 1-2 punch right off the bat.
From what I've seen, is people think this might make like some sort of aggro warrior viable again, just because it's a weapon. Like you would play any 2 mana weapon in any aggro warrior for sure.
Okay.
I mean, it makes a Wasp a 3/4 that can change into possibly a 6/3 or a 6/2. I mean, and then you have the weapon to trade or remove anything and let that thing hit through the following turn. So I don't know. I feel like a 1/2 turn. That's a pretty powerful one for Warrior, which it's lacked for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we'll have to see if there's another card. Like if another 1-drop or 2-drop comes out with Rush, this card could be really good, like crazy good.
Sure, like if that +1 could turn your 1/1 rush guy into a 3/2 rush guy, that can make a big difference.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it's weird that it's Death Rattle though, right? A little bit. It would be better if it's Battle Cry for sure.
So they
that's
want you
true.
to play it and attack, and then
Death
kill
Rattle.
something and attack and hope the thing's still there. And a lot of the time, your rush buff isn't even going to have something to hit into.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, it's Death Rattle. I was thinking it was Battle Cry for some reason. Oh, that's a pretty big difference then. So it really is meant for like a Darius more than it is for like a Wasp. Okay.
Yeah, I get the feeling this is a build
you played
around
first.
card with Darius for
Yeah.
newer players.
Yeah, you play this first. Oh yeah, you play it first, right, Gar? You're right. Yeah,
you play the
pointed this
weapon
out.
first and
Yeah.
attack, and then you play the Wasp. Wait, the Wasp will become a 4/4.
No, it would be a 3/4, and then if it hits
Yeah,
something,
3/4.
and then it would be a +3 attack, right? Then it would be a 6/3 or 6/2 or something like that.
Maybe it's good.
I
But
think
what
it's-
kind of deck would that be, right? Like like on paper, it's not bad, but
Mhm.
we don't have such a deck right now.
Yeah, there's no mid-range tempo-ish type of warrior right now, outside of Pirate, and Pirate has no synergy with this right now. So,
I think Warrior needs a good 6-drop and 7-drop that is aggressive.
Mhm.
Kind of like we had with the Dragon Warrior,
Mhm.
the Dragon Tempo Warrior. We had like Draconic Crusher.
yeah,
was like a
Malcolm
9/9.
Rock as well at one point.
Yeah, Malcolm. Like this is, I think, what Warrior needs as well.
Yeah.
Kind of like something spicy on 6 and 7.
Spicy. That would be really good. Okay, well, let's see what else we got here. Okay, so that's Warrior. Now we're moving on to Warlock, and we're starting with which one are we? Is this Warlock? Shoot, might be a little confused here. Witching out. Wait, what do I have here? I have Witching Hour. Oh, am I doing Druid now? Okay, never mind. I lied. It's Druid. It's Druid. So Witching Hour is a 3-mana spell, rare. Summon a random friendly beast that died this game. So
Gotta be good, right?
we got the Beast Druid theme again. We're gonna make it work, boys. No matter what it takes. So
I think it's got to be good. You've got a lot of control over what beasts go in your deck.
yeah.
The 3-mana Druid can draw cards. I think one way or another it becomes good. I don't have anything particular in mind exactly. It just has to be good.
Okay. You think it's just gonna be good? Like, what kind of things will we throw in it? Like Bitter Tide.
Atlantis.
Sure.
But no,
Okay.
I mean, you've got the mana, you've got the card draw. You can mess around to your heart's content till you
Yeah.
find what works. Like you can go with big stuff, you can go with medium stuff.
I mean, it's 3 mana, so clearly you would want something that's going to, on average, give you much better value than 3 mana. Because, but can you play a beast deck, Gar, like without playing the Ravens and some of these low cost beasts that you would want tempo with?
I think you just want to have a few big beasts, but I'm looking up right now. What are the good neutral beasts? Druid has no good.
Oh, 312, man,
beast.
for sure. I mean, that's a good. Yes, Grimly. 312 for sure. That neutral guy.
That
is
guy.
gonna be
Oh
good.
yeah.
He's going to be
that's-
big no matter
Wow.
what. And then when
I
you
hope they
summon
don't
him,
see-
he's 312. So he's
The
huge.
stupid recurring tiger deck that I absolutely hate.
And you ramp it out as well. Wow.
Yeah,
It's like,
that's strong, man.
Yeah.
That's pretty strong.
okay, this card is really good.
yeah.
It's really good.
Yeah, I think so too. I think you're going to get some great value.
Yeah,
It's,
you
it's,
just need.
it's how do you
you just
build the
need good
beginning?
beats.
How do you build the front of your deck, and then how do you build the end of your deck? But
Yeah.
the middle is
It's
taken
Druid.
care of.
It's just Druid, you draw cards, make mana, off you go.
Yeah,
And
infestation
I
at the
think
end.
I think from all the classes,
sure.
Druid is actually the most flexible one in how to build a deck.
Yeah.
We've seen like so many different
Yeah.
Druid builds just because you can put in ramp and then play whatever. The
Yeah,
Colento
like you say,
Druid.
Drawing cards, if you don't have them, you just draw your 15 core cards and off you go. You're going to find your deck.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing I would say about this card is that you have to remember it summoned a friendly beast that died this game. So it's not something you can play too early, but you could play it as early as turn 6, which would be pretty powerful given some of those cards that are on turn 5. So yeah, I like this
That's
card.
really a card draw. You can afford to have a card wasted in your hand for 2 or 3 turns. I think it's fine.
That's what we ramp for, right? So
Like compared to the Hunter thing we were talking about earlier,
Yeah.
where you're saying, well, it's too slow. This you can just keep it in your hand.
well, it's Druid. You know, Druid cheats. Like it's
Exactly.
actually not 8 turns or 10 turns. It's more like
Yeah, sure.
6 or 7 turns maybe. So yeah, strong card there. Next we got 2 legendaries, starting with 5 mana 3/7 Duskfallen Aviana. Kind of interesting name. The first card each player plays each turn costs 0. So both you and your opponent get a chance to play a free card. So
And your opponent goes first.
no.
Because this is the first card you
Oh.
played this turn.
Oh. I didn't even think about that.
Temporous, basically.
Ooh, that's terrible.
It's likely really
Is
bad.
it though? Okay,
But you're
let's think
druid
about
and you
it.
can cheat a bit.
So against aggressive decks, does it really matter that much?
No, I mean they play like 2/2/2s or something instead of, or an extra 2/2 or something.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a good point. Yeah, against the aggressive decks.
But it depends if they can kill it, right? It's bad if they can kill it. If you get to play your minion,
Oh, sure, yeah.
then it's good. But if they get to play some stuff and then kill it, then it's really bad.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
if they just play
basically a
Doom
taunt.
Guard with an extra card Soulfire, then sure, yeah.
Yeah, it's a taunt. I mean, it's basically like a taunt in that scenario, which does very little damage. So it's not. It's very, very bad.
So it's
Is there something
it's
we're
probably
missing
dust.
here?
it's Duskfallen Aviana.
Yeah.
Wow. I think I can't.
It's
disagree.
actually really bad. No, think about it. It's
Duskfallen
really
Aviana.
bad. It's actually really bad.
Are we sad to see a really bad druid legendary though?
No,
I don't think we're
I
sad.
feel like
are we?
we're missing something with this.
no.
Are
I
we
don't think-
missing?
That's the
anything?
idea. They've got you. That's what they want you to do. That's exactly the point of the card.
Is there something with swapping decks or something that
Well,
I'm
that's
missing?
the point
here?
of this sort of card is for people to go away. They get it in their pack. They think,
man.
"Oh, I've got this."
That's
card.
okay.
What I do. It's just
I
not
like-
everything
Okay.
isn't aimed at tournament players.
I like the name Dustiana.
Dustiana. Okay, yeah, that'd be pretty good.
It's
This
I
is
like the
definitely
idea
a
of the
legend that
way.
you do not want to see when you see the orange explosion. This is not what you want to see when it comes out.
The problem is you can't combo with this card as well in some combo deck because this is the first card you play.
Yeah, true.
Like how can
Yeah.
you do that? Give it stealth,
Yeah.
but then your opponent is it as well. It's like
I mean, Tempurus saw play for the tiniest time where people were playing Inner Fire Priest, and they just go, Tempurus, you can't kill me, and then I'm going to kill you in 2 turns, whatever you do. But this, they just kill the Aviana, and it's like, oh, accident!
Oh god, it's
Yeah,
crazy.
it's like
Oh my god.
it's very optimistic.
No, it's very. I think it's beyond optimistic. it's like your opponent has to fall out of his chair or something. Kind of optimistic. Okay, next we've got Splintergraft. It's an 8 mana legendary 8/8 battlecry. Choose a friendly minion. Add a 10/10 copy to your hand that costs 10. That's.
Do big chunks of stats ever really work?
It's like
No matter
Well,
how
10
hard they
mana.
try.
the first thing that I saw was like, oh, you can make your Ancient of War a 10 mana 10/15 poggers.
10 mana.
Yeah,
10,
right.
15. Okay.
Or you make your Spontaspora 10/10 charge.
Okay. Yeah. But it's 10 mana. I mean, that's the
Yeah.
killer. It's like we've seen this kind of design for 1/1 things, right? For 1 mana.
Yeah, no, honestly, the
But
best
it's
combo
so
I've
much
seen.
different. Yeah.
The best combo I've seen was with Kun, but Kun rotates out. Like you play this with Kun in the same turn, then you get Kun back. Then you basically have a 0
Okay.
mana 10/10 Kun.
Oh, I see.
So
I
we
see
have
what
to
you
watch
mean.
for that. Sort
So
of
you have
thing.
double Kun basically for
Yeah.
free. But
Yeah.
it rotates out, so in standard it's I don't know. Like maybe but the thing is Druid ramps, right? So you get it out faster than just, regular 8 mana 8/8s. But
I mean-
it has to be stealth or something like that. Like something reliable to,
I've got
doesn't
better
really-
things I want to do on turn 10 than play
Yeah.
a 10/10 copy of a card. I
Yeah,
just
you
wanna
have the
draw
problem
5
is
cards.
ultimate. Yeah, exactly. You have ultimate infestation. You have the best 10 mana card in the game. Like you
Right.
really
I'm
have.
trying to think of
something
what
do
just
with it.
what kind of text on some of these druid cards are just unbelievable. I mean, everybody thinks about like Lich King and Ysera and stuff like that, of course, but
I mean, it's rotating out with
Malgus,
something like N'Zoth that has a great game impact, and then you just do a great game impact again. You save it for another 4 turns, let them deal with the first one, and you do it again. So you want to copy another 10 drop that's already just good, and just use it as an 8/8 that copies a card that already costs 10.
I mean, with giants, right? If you play giants for 0,
Yep.
and if a giant gets cost 10, it
yeah.
still gets reduced. It's kind of like a buff, right?
Yeah, another
It
Naga
costs
Sea
less.
Witch, another Naga Sea Witch abuse.
Is it though, right? If you copy a mountain giant, it is cheaper, right? Than
Yeah,
more
it is
expensive.
cheaper. It's like 2 cheaper, right? Or no, more than 2. It's
it is
no, it's
2.
2 cheaper. It's 2 cheaper. I'm thinking of Molten Giant. Yeah, so nothing that's just
I
like
mean-
no brainer, super great that I can
I
think
mean,
of off the
Druid
top. Of
is
my-
getting 2 cards that are buffing hand druid, right? Like the one that gives you like 2 free trans in your hand,
Yeah, yeah.
and then maybe hand buff hand druid is a thing, and then you play like giants. I mean, you play giants in druid, might as well play this guy and copy some giants. And
Yeah, but
Mhm.
that
It's
doesn't.
2
I
mana
mean,
giants.
you copy a giant, you have a 10 mana 10/10 giant. I mean, that's not.
no, it's not 10 mana. The giant
It's
it costs
giant.
10 mana, but the
Oh yeah, yeah,
effect
but
of
it's getting a
giant is-
reduction. Okay, yeah. So the mana
It's like a
is-
2
is-
mana
is- yeah.
10/10.
So it's cheaper. Sure, I'll give you that. So it's an extra giant in your hand.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe that's the
Which
best
is pretty good.
implementation of
Yeah,
it.
but-
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
such
okay.
a deck. I don't think you can play like a hand lock without board clear. And Druid doesn't have board clear. So I just don't see that happening.
Yeah. So
That kind of
okay.
archetype.
Yeah, pretty interesting. There might be some card with text not out there that we just don't know. That's insane. Like if it had something like 10 health on it, just living a turn would just be remarkable. But
There's
well,
definitely cool cards in the game, but I'm not sure if those
mean-
are in standard.
yeah.
The way to test is to go through all the 10 drops that have low stats, and why would you want them to be bigger? Because if it's a 10 drop that's a 5/7, like N'Zoth or whatever,
Mhm.
they're the ones to search through in the collection to find out which ones have actually got massive
Yeah.
effects. They're understatted. It's a
Yeah.
quick way to find them all.
I mean, the minion has to be living on the board too, unless it's like a 1 or 2 drop, right?
Right.
So there's definitely an element to that too. But cool. I mean, the fact that we're talking about it for a few minutes, like 5 minutes here is a good sign that it's a.
That's what
pretty
this set's
cool
been good at, actually. I mean, I don't think the power level is
Imagine-
necessarily that high, but all the cards are interesting.
Imagine like with Shade of Naxxramas, it keeps growing, and then you play this, you copy it, and then you start a second Shade already
Yeah.
on 10/10. Just OTK. Feels
Yeah.
good, man.
Absolutely. Okay, well, guys, going to take a mini break. I want to give a shout out to our sponsor today, ShipStation, which is an awesome shipping service. If you've never used it, it's a website that if folks that are vendors or you sell a lot of your items on things like Shopify, Squarespace, Etsy, BigCommerce, and WooCommerce, and or even any of those other over 75 other popular selling channels, you can use ShipStation as your shipping option, and it's really easy to set up on each of these sites, and it's very straightforward in how to just again like have your any of your items that are going to be shipped, or the people that are buying it, then they can actually use UPS, FedEx, USPS, and you'll be able to print out your shipping labels and put these on the packages that you're gonna have to ship to these folks that are buying your stuff. So ShipStation's been really, really great about it. I've actually tried it out. I tried it out yesterday for the first time because I had to ship something, and super easy to use. You can actually try out ShipStation right now for free 30 days on top of the free month that you get. So if you use the promo code ValueTown, if you go to the site right now, shipstation.com, there's a little see my ad with a little microphone there. If you click on that, put ValueTown in, you actually get 2 free months to try this out. So yeah, any big vendors out there like selling stuff online, give ShipStation a try, because they are a really cool service that even I myself have been getting to know a little bit more recently. Maybe one day we'll have ValueTown merch, and we can just go to town with ShipStation. But I've always never pulled the trigger on ValueTown merch. So maybe one of these days we'll get to the point where we can do that. Okay, well, why don't we get back to some Paladin cards here, which is Paladin. We don't have too many Paladin cards. It's how many do we got here? We got 2, I think. Yeah, 2. I mean, my order on our notes is completely wrong, dude. I don't know what I was doing when I was making these notes. Okay, Paladin, we got Cathedral Gargoyle. 2 mana, 2/2, battle cry. If you're holding a dragon, gain taunt and divine shield, and then it's an epic card. So this is like, God, it's like
I think a lot of these cards are like in the wrong expansion.
I mean this sounds kind of like Bristle, you know, like
it's so good if he had dragons, but like the dragons do we
that's
have?
true.
Well, I think that's the point.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, but then it won't see play. Like there's no point. Like there's a point, but there's not really a point. Like why make it now? Like
We don't
You
have
don't
the
get
dragon that
dragons.
gives you the 1/1s too, right? The 2/3 and the 1/1s
No.
anymore. That's gone, right? Yeah.
yeah.
You've got like Fairy Dragon, Twilight Drake.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
I-
we don't want to
That sounds basic deck, dude. For
Yeah,
me.
yeah, exactly. You don't want to play bad cards to make like a card decent.
Yeah.
That's
But
not
again,
how-
there's cards that are relevant not for tournament players, not for top players. So
Yeah,
if you've got your small collection, you open this, you play your Fairy Dragon deck, you're happy. I'm not saying it's
No.
good, I'm making a case.
I don't know. So we used to
Some
think
tour-
Minibot was great, right? So
Yes.
this is basically Minibot, but you have to have a dragon deck.
But and it has taunt. It's better than mini.
Yeah, it's definitely
Right, it's
and
really
taunt.
good.
Yeah, so there's something between
It's-
Minibot and Burn Bristle, right? So
it's the best 2-drop in the game.
Yeah, activating this is absolutely amazing, but you've only really got Fairy Dragon and Twilight Drake that are playable cards with it, I think. Unless you can play some sort of
The thing is,
deck or something.
it doesn't work with Call to Arms. So you would play this in a control paladin deck. You wouldn't play this in any aggro deck. But where are the dragons,
Yeah.
dude?
yeah, I mean
Maybe we
they're
get more dragons.
yeah,
Can we play a Zero?
dragon's tough.
If we're forcing the card to work, can we play your Zero?
Yeah, but also Curator rotates out. Like, oh man.
Yeah,
Like-
there's still some holes. Like I mean, Paladin.
There's
We still
some
have
dragons.
a lot of cards to be announced for Paladin, right?
Do
Like,
we have Primordial Drake?
yeah, you could. We have Primordial Drake is here.
It's
Okay.
in Guru.
And there's
So,
the 2-year thing I mentioned earlier. We've got a lot of time we've got 3 sets for this set to build on.
yeah, maybe Twilight Drakes and Primordial Drakes, because this card is very good. And with Railing Blade and stuff.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think what Control Paladin is really lacking is a good win condition. Ultra
Chat's
is
pointing
just-
out the 3/4 guy as well, the neutral 3/4 guy
Mhm.
that's every condition.
Oh, that's everything. That dies to every crap and every anti-hate.
Yeah, the
cards in
amalgam.
game.
Yeah. I mean, we still got what 1, 2, 3, 4. It looks like we got still 7 cards to be announced for Paladin. So
Yeah.
one of those can be a
Yeah,
dragon.
maybe.
Wouldn't be
Well,
surprised.
maybe a Paladin. Yeah, Paladin just needs that oomph. How I like to call it. You need like a win condition besides Turion.
Hmm.
Yeah, because Nizov is rotating out. Paladin, like you can't compete with Gul'dan. You can't compete with Control Warlock, with any other control deck, besides Priest right now. And that's the problem with the control decks. This is also the problem of Control Warrior right now. You just can't compete. You have to play like Mill Warrior, Deadman's Hand Warrior. Like a normal Control Paladin. You would play this card only in Control Paladin. Like you can't play it in
Yeah.
aggro. So, but Control Paladin needs that win condition to compete with other control
Yeah,
decks.
you've got the Death Knight. I think the combo goes as well. So you've just got the Death Knight slowly making 2/2 horsemen.
Yeah, but
Which just takes
yeah,
forever.
but Beardo rotates out. Yeah, the OTK
Well,
rotates
Yeah.
out. So it would be just
This doesn't have to be control. I mean, we could just be talking mid-range tempo type of Paladin.
mid-range
Like,
tempo Paladin.
I mean,
is
play
that-
this,
but-
play the 3/4
yeah.
guy, play Twilight Drake.
But
Yeah,
then
we
you
used to
rather
have
play
ideal
Call
player.
to Arms. You know, it's like the
Right.
best. card
Maybe. I
in
mean,
Paladin.
yeah. I mean, there could be an option that's just a strong, or it's something that's strong. Like maybe some power cards come around in 5-6. Maybe it's a spiteful deck. I don't know. Like I mean, spiteful was being played with what Dino Size and Spike Ridge Steed. I think at the time, just at least
But
get
also
some
Call to
hands.
Arms.
And
The
Call
nastiest thing about
Really?
this card, it's
Yeah.
not even a dragon itself. So even when you play 2 in your deck, you're not helping your dragon count.
I know. That's the thing. Like I don't like these cards that are. I wish they were synergistic, a bit more synergistic. It's kind of like that priest card that was synergistic with beast, but it wasn't a beast itself. It's like, kind of wish it was. Or
It's a good card.
This card, yeah. If there is
It's-
support behind it, it's definitely a good card.
It's a
This,
good
this is probably a good card when we get the 3rd set of the rotation.
Yeah.
When
Okay.
the pool size is bigger, there'll be a dragon or two hanging around somewhere.
When Paladin gets dragged into Operative 2,
Call to arms have been nerfed.
Duskwood Operative, whenever that comes out. Okay, next we got Sound the Bells. 2 mana, common, Echo, give +2 or +1/+2 to a minion. So
This has one purpose and one purpose only for me, and that's to make the quest people have another chance.
I got a chance. Yeah,
People who finish their quest deck and realize it didn't work can try again.
Isn't that the win condition you're looking for, Gaara? This is it.
All I think is Millhouse Mana Storm gets worse and worse with every expansion, dude.
Oh my god, that would be insane. Yes, that'd be insane. Your house would be amazing. Oh.
And you can just, with Paladin, you can just hero power, so you have guaranteed an infinite stat minion.
It's broken. Oh my god, that's a toast video.
The
waiting
APM
to-
actually
that is a
matters
toast
on how
video
quickly
tomorrow.
You can do this.
Oh,
It will be as
God.
big as you can do in the time.
Yeah, it's
Let's have
only the rope
competitions.
that stops you. Only the rope.
Only the
And,
rope
oh man,
stops
can you
you.
imagine doing that and then you Lanessa after that?
Yeah. Oh.
So you're gonna get 2 of these back. You kill it once, I'll just play Lanessa. I get it right back. Oh my god.
That's toast in business for the next month.
Exactly.
This card seems good.
That's pretty sick, actually.
Yeah.
Is
but
it-
buff it, yeah,
is it broken?
Because of Lannis.
It's actually broken, right? Like with Millhouse.
Don't think of Millhouse. Nobody plays Millhouse.
Yeah,
But Millhouse
they
gets worse and
would.
worse. Millhouse gets worse and worse.
Oh man.
I mean,
Oh,
joking
God.
aside, we're going to have to look at the quest again. I don't think it's going to work, but we'll have to
Nah, the quest-
revisit the quest and just make sure, because you can do this 3 times on turn 6, make your quest. That's
Yeah.
a lot of the
Oh.
quest done.
It
Yeah,
could. It
Quest
could.
actually got a lot of cards, right? Lanissa also works for the quest.
Yeah.
Yep.
You
So
could
we
just
need to look,
throw
at
in
least
the
take a look at the quest, see if it works.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the quest is a little RNG to it too, right? Whether it's actually a finisher or not. But
Right, the problem with the quest is you only have to get through a 3/9 Void Lord and his friends to win the game. Otherwise, your thing just bounces off it anyway.
yeah, it bounces off it, or I mean, there's Scream, there's all kinds of ways to like send it or kill it.
What is interesting
right?
about this card is that you can split it. You know, buffing different minions on the board seems extremely powerful.
Mhm.
And then
Okay.
you get value trades in. I think this card is good because it scales into late game. In the early game, if you have a good 1-drop, let's say Esquire, you buff Esquire with this, then you have a 2/3 with Divine Shield, pretty good, you trade it in. And in mid game or late game, it's still a good card. There's very few cards that scale into late game that are good in early game.
Yeah.
And
sure.
like this is how the stones work, like the spell stones. This is why they are like all played. Because they scale into late game. You can buff them and they get better and better. And I think
Yeah,
that's
+5,
really-
+10 when you top deck it as your only card on turn 10 is actually okay, isn't it?
There's
Yeah.
some other cards that kind of get value. Like there's one card that gives you these spells back, right? Like help with the whole quest. And then Vorax isn't terrible too. With these type of cards, you know, like if you cast it on that and
I forgot that
it gets it
existed. Yeah, that's
too.
pretty good.
Yeah. So it's interesting. It's definitely interesting having. I mean, the biggest issue before with these kind of buff cards in Paladin is that it only happens once, right? So using card,
Yeah.
you know, using a slot in your deck for this kind of like single, like a very one-dimensional type of thing was terrible. Like you just have to have multi-dimension to it. Now with Echo, I mean, you literally have like this card is really 5 cards, like on turn 10, right? So
Sure.
it's awesome. That's why I love this Echo design. It's so efficient, like the way that they.
And for Lanissa, it's also insane, right? The more you get to play this card, the bigger Lanissa gets as well.
Yeah, yeah. So
The-
kind of interesting. I don't know if it's a very dependable, you know, finisher for Paladin, but the value's there for sure.
Compare it to Dark Conviction, which I know is used for killing giants and stuff, but in terms of an
What's Dark
aggressive
Conviction do
unit,
again? I forget. What does it
it just
do?
turns a thing into a 3/3. So you use it on
Oh,
your own giants, but
Right.
people do use it on their own stuff.
Yeah.
And I think the cheaper an Echo card, the better it is as well. Because the more often you can actually echo it
Yeah.
or copy it.
Yeah.
So I would say a 2-mana Echo card is by default much better than a equivalent 4-mana Echo card.
Yeah.
Sure.
You know,
3-mana.
I like that the health is more too. It's going to stick around. It's going to be have a better chance to stick around too, whatever it buffs. Okay, well let's move on to I think it's no what Oh my god!
I think what happened
am
is
I-
that Warlock
happened?
just vanished and Priest just vanished off the face of the earth. And
Did I
Yeah, we
nobody's-
don't need to talk about these two classes.
Dude, okay, so I need to. I apparently didn't add the priest card, so I'm gonna have to add them like right now. So, give me a
'Cause
second.
they're interesting as well, and the Warlock cards. So
Yeah, I mean, okay, so Chameleos is first. Chameleos, I think, is really good. Gar, you mind reading this out while I get the other ones here?
Chameleos. It's 1 mana, 1/1 beast. What? Oh, it's so
Okay,
funny.
good. I thought you were only gonna read the name and be done with it. I was like, okay, yep, keep going. Sorry.
Each turn this is in your hand, transform it into a card your opponent is holding. And I saw like Zet a lot.
Mhm.
He's like a very famous priest
Yep.
player.
Yep.
Everyone knows about him. He was super excited about this card.
Oh yeah.
And it's usually a good sign. Yeah, interesting card, right? I wonder if you would keep it in the mulligan. You know,
so.
it's
It depends on the format, right? On ladder, I think you keep it. Like, we're gonna have to learn how to put value on information for the first time, the first
Dude.
real time.
Yeah.
Like, what is information worth in Hearthstone? How much mana is knowing things actually worth? And that would change from format to format. And
I don't think it's possible to put a mana value on that. I think that this is no question my favorite card in the
it's
entire
a
expansion.
great card.
It's
from
no
all
question.
angles.
It's like,
and I think it's playable too.
yeah, it changes the game, like in my opinion, or at least the way people look at cards or an individual card, or how a card can be used. And we've seen like very mild versions of the flavor of this. Like we've seen Glimmerroot, right? But I wouldn't say people use Glimmerroot from a standpoint of like knowing what your opponent has in their hand, or
Yeah, mindy steel.
yeah, it's like, okay, spiteful. It's like, okay, I know he still has a mind control in his deck. They're very, very like minute versions of this. This is the next level type of thing. This like literally tells you what he's holding in his hand like right now, and you don't have to.
And then,
you can just leave it. It can just be infinite. Like you can get 10 turns worth of information.
And eventually it turns into their minion. Whatever they're playing, it's going to turn into something like a Yeti.
Right, and that's like bonus. I mean, it's like,
yeah,
I would
it's
have
done its
maybe
job
taken
as
this
a
for
spy,
1/1.
and now it's going to hit you.
Yeah. Like, it would have been even intriguing if it was just a 1-mana 1/1 straight up. But on top of that, you get what, you can actually have the versatility of choosing it to use in a tempo fashion or in a value way. So this card's crazy good, in my opinion. It's just, it's not like very obvious from a tempo minded, Hearthstone player that this is going to be playable or not. But man, I
hope
think
there's
this
an
is amazing.
effect that tells your opponent that it's in your hand when it changes, so they know that you're being spied on.
But that,
Otherwise,
this
this whole thing you're playing as priest, you don't even know if they know your cards or not. It's like, I'd like to at least know if they know my cards.
You know what is overlooked, I think, with a card like this is a very crazy phenomenon in Hearthstone is that every deck has usually also the counter cards to their deck played in their own deck.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for example, a Warlock deck or Control Warlock deck has usually Ooze and Spellbreakers and whatnot. Mages oftentimes play Secret Eater and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's very fun. Like Hunter plays Flare.
Yep.
It's in the history of Hearthstone, it was always like that, which is kind of funny, right? And a card like this could be super powerful. Like you can get really against every deck the counter against them. And I don't think it's bad versus aggro. I think this is the most important thing. If this card is good versus aggro, and if you keep this in your hand and you play against Aggro Paladin and you go first and you get a 1-drop, going first, it's good. It's playable.
Yeah, I mean,
And
the
if
worst
you get
case, you're
something greedy,
yeah.
let's think about it. Okay, Draconic Operative rotates out, but in a mirror, getting another operative, that's insane. Like another one.
Yeah, so
And-
like you said, the worst case is not that bad. I mean, worst case, maybe you get a 1/1 taunt with Divine Shield. It's
Right, I
like,
was just thinking that
it's
exact
not
card
bad.
turn one launch Scepter, and now your controlling deck is just bought itself 2 turns.
There's definitely some RNG aspect to it. I think you could copy the same card multiple turns in a row.
Yeah.
That would be quite
Well,
unlucky.
no, I think, unless they have 2 of them, but I think you could be alternating between the same 2 cards over and over again. And I believe I don't think you can turn into the same card twice in a row.
Why not? I think you could.
Is it?
Right?
Is that how it works?
Yeah, I'm guessing you can have the same card twice.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I don't
okay.
see
So there
why you
is that
shouldn't,
element
but-
to it. I thought it would just flip to something different, so maybe it would flip between two cards. But yeah, so there's a little bit
Terrible
element
top
of that.
deck,
Yeah,
by the way.
that's
It's a really bad top deck if they're all in.
Yeah, it's a bad top deck.
yeah.
Another thing is what I
Is it?
struggle with right now with Control Priest is to make room in my deck.
Oh yeah,
but-
that's bad.
But like the dragons rotate out, right? So I think in Control Priest you will. I feel like you will have room.
Oh, I think
for
you have
something like
room. I mean, I think you can get rid of
Yeah,
one of
you'll
the
find
flex
something.
spots for this. It's going to be worth it. I mean,
It's definitely.
You'll
I think
know
this
what
card is better for good players.
for
think-
sure, it's
Yeah.
exciting in the pro scene, in my opinion. I mean, in some ways, it's like it might take a little bit away from like these very high skill scenarios and appreciating, how good the pros are in those situations, because all of a sudden, there won't be this element of guessing, or making
Well,
educated guesses.
flip that on its head. Say that you've got two cards in hand and you know one is X. Maybe you can deduce Y from how they played because they know they haven't played this card.
No, okay.
Maybe they can actually work
But-
out more that way.
Now that I think about it, like a little bit more, there's actually like if you play Control Priest, you play this card. There's cards that the opponent will be holding, like Dead Man's Hand will hold a Dead Man's Hand, where he will hold Dead Man's Hand for a
Yeah.
long time in his hand.
Mhm.
And if you get to copy that, that's insane. And Rin in Control Warlock, like if he draws it, he will hold it till he can kill it himself. So there's a good, and if you get Rin copied, that's game winning. Same goes for Dead Man's Hand. And
And that
against
actually goes back to the information thing. If you copy Rin on, say, turn 7, you know they haven't got Dark Pact because they would have played it and
Yeah.
killed it.
Yeah.
and you can play it yourself, and you know that he has Rin.
Exactly, yeah, all these things. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
very
So
good.
you can get Gul'dan. You could get. I mean, Gul'dan by itself isn't that great, but you could even get any of the Death Knights. So, it's. I don't know. Like I said, the fact that it copies something is what makes it just a no-brainer. But it was already intriguing from the fact that it could literally spy on somebody for.
And people
multiple
are
turns.
usually not playing bad cards.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah,
like,
they're not. Nobody's playing bad cards. What do you mean? Nobody
You
plays
don't
bad
get
cards
this
anymore in
you still get a
Hearthstone.
valued card. Jane is still good, even if she's not in your priest
Yeah,
deck
like,
normally, which
this
she's
is-
not a
this
priest
is-
card.
God, this is like power creep stone, man. Like, there's no bad cards that exist. What are you talking
yeah.
about in
So
decks?
you're not gonna copy some freaking fairy dragons, which L0rinda will play.
No, that will not happen. Well, that only happens in Arena. Arena, this card will probably not be great. But
Oh,
in
yeah.
Standard, yeah, this will be amazing.
Or maybe even in arena, it's good. I don't know.
No, I don't think so. I don't think
You
the
think?
yeah, because like I don't think the synergy and or at least the win conditions are very focused in Arena. Like
Okay.
it's very value centric. So or at
See
least
two of their cards, then play a Yeti on 4. Seems all right.
it's not that old, not that old of Arena, but yeah. See, next card we got here is Holy Water, 5 mana, rare spell, deal 4 damage to a minion. If that kills it, add a copy to it. Add a copy of it to your hand. Okay, so
It seems too slow, right?
yeah, this is kind of like Tentacle of Arms level, where it's just like it's a very
Yeah.
weak power, but the fact that it can regenerate itself is why it costs what it does.
Wait, do you get a copy of this holy water or a copy
No,
of the
there's a
minion?
spell that you kill the minion.
Oh, okay,
Okay.
so it's not this spell. Okay, so it's just
So
what
you-
you kill. Oh,
Yeah.
all right. So if that's
So you get
the
something
case...
that's half the time it's probably useless to your
Oh,
deck. and you
right,
just have to
right,
kill
right,
anyway.
right. Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, if it's Tentacle to Arms, I'll be saying maybe this is just about playable, right? But I
It's
think
very
it just
good because you get it back. It's very good. Priest has oftentimes just nothing to do. Like in the history of Priest, it's like you have these. I have 9 cards in hand. Hero power pass turns.
But
And
do
you
we
have-
want another card in our hand? Do we want to get their 4/5 in our hand that we just killed with this? Do
I
we
think-
want it?
No, wait. No, do you? Are you sure you get holy water back or the minion?
No, I think you get a minion, but I
No,
didn't
no,
know.
you
I
get the
thought-
minion you kill. That's how it's
Are you
worded.
sure?
Yeah, deal
not
4
sure on
damage to a
that.
minion. If that kills it, add a copy of it to your hand.
Yeah, assuming they're the same
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
then
it,
you
right?
get the
Kills
minion.
it, which is the target, then you get it back. Yeah. So you get the minion back, which kind of makes sense. It kind of
Yeah.
feels like a priest like card when you do that.
Yeah.
Which
Um,
is it's like a weak violence portal sorta because
Yes.
instead of
yeah,
but you get a good card usually because you
Yeah.
kill a good minion.
it's
And
I
you
mean,
have to
Fireland,
spend
the money.
Fireland Portal's a million times better. Like it's not even because you don't
Yeah.
you don't get it summoned. You actually have to it goes to your hand, right?
Yeah,
so
but
you have to play it again.
It deals 1 less damage for 2 less mana, and you get a good minion. Like Violence Portal is heavy RNG, especially right now. You get a
Yeah.
lot of bad minions. Not every minion you get is bad, and if you get a bad minion, Violence Portal is quite bad. And if you get an actually good minion, and you can like choose which minion you want
Yeah.
or which minion you get, it's like in terms of value, it's very good. And Priest doesn't have Draconic Operative.
I don't disagree with that. I just think it might be way too slow in a real functioning deck.
Yeah, in a, I could see it maybe in one of those big priests, and even in those in those type of decks, it's like, what would I drop, like to play a card like this?
Actually, that's interesting because in a big priest sword deck, we haven't got Barnes, so I guess that's kind of weird discussion. But
Yeah,
in that sort of deck, actually having a minion would be a bonus because you can't put the minions in your deck. So maybe it functions in that sort of deck.
it's it's kind of an interesting design. I just don't know how great it is. Maybe it's good in arena. I don't know. I don't know, four
It's
damage
very
at
good
5
in arena.
mana.
Dude,
Yeah.
it's ridiculous in arena.
Okay,
Yeah,
it's
I
ridiculous
agree
in
with
arena. Okay.
You kill something and you get a minion. In arena, which is all about value, is
Yeah,
crazy.
and card power is really important too.
Yeah, my only concern with the card is you never get to play the minion you kill because you're too busy doing whatever your deck's supposed to be doing, and you don't really have time to fit in this weird 3/7 thing you just kill off.
Yeah. Okay, moving on. 6 mana, Lady in White. I love this art. This art's really cool. Legendary 5/5 battle cry.
By the way, I want to say something
Okay.
because this is actually the first time Priest actually gets deal a certain amount of damage. Priest was always like deal every minion with less than 2 attack. Deal like
Oh, well,
deal
no,
any
Holy
with-
Fire, right?
yeah.
Holy Fires.
Yeah, but Holy Fire is like 6 mana.
Okay.
It's like,
Yes.
besides that, no, Priest can actually kill like Animal Companion
Right.
or like 4 attack minions for the first time with just a card that deals damage.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big
Instead of waiting for Dragonfire or something. Yeah. That's definitely nice.
So it could be that.
That is a big deal.
Okay, Lady in White. 6 mana 5/5 legendary battle cry. Cast Inner Fire on every minion in your deck. So set attack equal to health. So things like
time I
Primordial
look at this
Drake.
card-
This is great. Like it's one of those things where do you really want to deck build around one card? So it's I think
Every
it's
time I look at it, I just put it down in value. I've suddenly come to the conclusion. It looks amazing when you first look at it, and the more you look, the more it doesn't really do anything.
I think it's I don't know. I think it feels a little bit like it feels a little like Cal said. There's an element to it. It's just an incremental increase to like a limited number. It's not like Cal said that's just like a large amount of cards. This would be a limited number of cards, but you kind of get it. So it's kind of like a buff paladin card, that sort of thing.
I think it's very interesting about this card is how split opinion about people are.
Yeah,
This is the most split opinion I've ever seen. Half of the people say it's not as good as you think, and half of the people are saying this card is completely insane.
I've deliberately kept away from most people's views before this show, just so I wouldn't be biased too much. I've
right.
seen
Yeah,
bits
me
and
too.
pieces,
I haven't
of
looked at
course.
anybody's
But
reviews.
so I think the words Inner Fire get everybody thinking, "Oh my god, it's amazing!" But
I think
people
it's
forget that
insane.
Inner Fire's cast after buffing a load of stuff. Oh, you think it's insane?
I think it's insane.
I
I think it's absolutely insane. But it's draw RNG. Like if you play a mirror and I draw it and you don't, I will win the game.
I agree with that entirely.
It makes
I just
all
don't
my
think-
clerics like free minions. It's just so many. Priest has just so many garbage minions. Imagine like Stonehill Defenders suddenly becoming 4/4s.
Oh, that's a good one.
Clerics
Yeah.
becoming 3/3s. It doesn't matter. Like I think people are too hang up on like combo or whatever. Just regular
Guys.
minions.
12/12 Usaris, man. 12/12 Malagus.
Like,
I mean, it's
Priest
like
of the Feast being a 6/6.
6/6. Priest of the Feast
How-
being 6/6.
How do you see the rest of the deck going? Because I see this as a fairly weak turn 6 going into probably quite a weak turn 7 until you actually start setting up your draws.
But the thing is with Priest
do
is very good at controlling the board. Probably the best class in the game right now besides Warlock. At removing stuff. But you don't really have a win condition. With this, you buff up every garbage minion in your deck, you would just win.
Are you consistent enough with it? Like, can you make
What
the
a-
deck win if this is card 28?
So Could we just throw this card? Forget like really abusing like some of these minions. Could we just throw this card into a Spiteful Priest, and all of a sudden it
That's
just
what
like,
I'm thinking. Just
like you literally just drop one card, throw this card in, Spiteful Priest.
yeah, just play
There you
it.
go. Like some of those cards get upgraded along the way, and that's already a pretty good base. Yeah. So yeah, I know I'm feeling you there. I'm definitely feeling you there.
I think you can.
Yeah, I think you can.
Like, you will definitely play a little bit around it. You know, play a bunch of high health minions, but you don't have to focus your entire deck.
It's an enhancer. It's not a card you build completely around. So even just the incremental enhancements to like half of the cards is really good. It's like a Keloseth. It gives even +1/+1 to it. It's like great. So
Are you okay with 5/5 for 6 on turn 6? You okay with that? I think it's okay, but
after I've played my Spiteful,
it's not a great turn 6.
It's fine.
Turn
Turn 6 is a big turn.
Yeah, compared to the Shaman card, which was a 4/4, I think it's much better.
Yeah.
6 mana 4/4 felt really unplayable. But 6 mana 5/5, it really depends on what people play.
So
Yeah, it's an intriguing card. It's a
honestly,
it's a good card if there's a split. There's a split in the middle. That's a good.
Oftentimes it comes down to the average stats of what people play in minions. And for example, if you have a rush meta, when everyone plays rush minions, then the average stat is way higher. Then a 6 mana 5/5 could be complete garbage. For example,
Yeah, agreed.
For example, back in the days we played like 5 mana 5/5s because they destroyed Azure Drakes. And yeah, it really comes down to what kind of 5-drops people are playing. If everyone is playing 5 mana 5/6s, then this card is very bad.
Yeah.
Like
I want this against Control Warlock, right? I just want this in my 4/8 Primordial Drake Control Ysera deck, sure. But I'm not so sure I want this against Aggro Paladin.
Dude, even like Obsidian statue would be an 8/8.
Yeah, it's just Ysera, you play
crazy.
I mean, the effect
Yeah,
is
as soon as
insane. I'm
I
not
should
arguing
play
that. I just think that maybe it takes place too slowly, and so it's going to have to go in a very specific deck.
I just think the priest can.
I don't even
get
think
there.
it's specific. I think this card can be just a general add to some decks, and it's just like enhances it. Just
I made this mistake with Blackguard, so I'm going the other way this time. I thought
Blackguard?
Blackguard was going to be
Yeah,
just the
okay.
best card ever.
right.
And it turns out there's just better 6-drops in the same class. I think this has got better 6-drops in Spitefuls, and I don't think you can play both.
Yeah. I don't think it's the best card ever, but I think it clearly will enhance some decks, and
It's a cool card.
Yeah, it's definitely a cool card.
Yes.
Okay, so let's switch over to a different class, which is Shaman. And we only have one card here. We only had one card for Shaman and one card for Mage. I didn't actually realize that until I started grouping these. But this is a 7 mana, and if you didn't see Patra's reveal, by the way, that was actually hilarious with this Bogshaper. 4/8 elemental epic. Whenever you cast a spell, draw a minion from your deck. So it's nothing too unique about this design. We've seen stuff like this before, right?
It's meant to work with Hagatha, right?
There's synergy, yeah. There's this kind of cross synergy, right, where you can power each other type of thing. But 4/8, it's a pretty small body. It's like kind of under stated. At least it's 8 health, because this is the kind of card you want to survive. But then you have to play the spells with it. So you're basically just forced to play spells with it, and I'm assuming you're going to want to play like removal spells alongside of this, and then it's just like draw a minion from your deck. So the tempo implications aren't going to be favorable for you. I don't think. So I don't know. It's an elemental. That's something. That's also something.
Do we stick like the ancestrals on it and make it so it comes back to life and keep it from dying and keep bringing it back to life? Some sort of crazy cyclic control mess.
The only issue I have with that is it's not one of these mechanics that are infinite in terms of like the cards you can draw. This is like limited to this, like the spells you have in your hand, and then you'll run out, and that's all the minions you can draw. So it's. I wish it was something like that.
Many minions.
Yeah. I wish it was like Lyra, basically.
I think also elementals get much weaker when the Jades rotate out.
Because of Spirit.
Because you played Jade Elemental Shaman. That was
it's still okay though if you've played just straight Elemental. I think it's still pretty strong.
What Shaman needs is cheap cards, not expensive cards. Shaman has like Blaze Callers already, and the other 7-drop, the what is it called, the Elemental Crusher, whatever.
Yeah.
Back your card. Like you have
Calamos too, yeah.
And you have you have a lot of expensive elementals already. You want cheap elementals. Like you have also the the guy that spawns 2 taunt jabronis.
Yeah. Jabronis.
And it costs 7 mana. And then you have
Yeah.
like another guy that costs 7 mana.
Well, I mean, the elemental decks that curves really well. Like there's something at every spot for elemental. So it's a matter of
remember
just
week
like what you
one,
fill
everyone
with.
said elemental shaman. That's
Yeah.
it forever.
But is this better
It's
than...
Rogan.
I mean, but you're also not running out of cards if you run Servant of Kalimos. I don't think you run out of minions in an elemental shaman deck.
Yeah.
You don't want to play like an expensive elemental that draws you elementals for spells that you cut.
Yeah.
I don't think you want that in the deck.
Yeah.
And it's a tempo deck as well. This is an anti-tempo card.
Yeah, this is a control type of card. Yeah, it's hard to see where this fits in.
Yeah.
I mean, this would have been great if it was priest and there's a lady in the water, like in white for this card too. But there's nothing like that for this guy. And you know, like I've already, you know, thinking about Hagatha and thinking about those spells. You know, it's kind of hard for me to imagine actually having like a lot of those spells in the deck already that are cheap. Like none of those spells are cheap. Volcano and all those kind of and Rain might be even the cheapest one. There's nothing that's going to allow you to chain very well with this. So it's gonna be, I don't know, it's kind of rough. It'd be nice if this kind of text happened for Rogue. You know, we kind of see that thing happen before for Rogue and or just even with Auctioneer right now. So it's not gonna have the same effect for a Shaman in my opinion.
Yeah, I can't make a case. I've been trying to make a case for some other cards, but nope. Sorry, Bogshaper.
Sorry, Bogshaper. Okay, next up we've got Rogue and...
Very, very quickly on Bogshaper, actually.
Yeah?
It looks like it might be a test case. Like we talked about Mistcaller turning into Lady, and we've talked about other cards getting better.
Sure.
Maybe this is one that in the future we see as a better card.
Yeah, I can see that. Rogue. Okay, so we've got a 2-mana Cheapshot, so they get their chance at an Echo spell here, common. Echo, deal 2 damage to a minion. So, all right, Rogue is the class, right? That in terms of being able to cast multiple, you know, cheap spells multiple times. I think Rogue is the one that has the most ways to at least abuse this. So whether it's like Edwin or it's Auctioneer or combo just generally, I mean, this is the class to do it. So what do you guys think of this Echo card?
Also, to me, it looks extremely weak. Rogue has like some of the best removals cards, single target removal cards in the game by far. Like you have Wildspine Slayers, you have Backstabs, you have Eviscerates. I don't think even in a Miracle Rogue deck you would ever play a card like this. I think. I just don't see it.
I found this one really, really difficult to evaluate, actually, because everything Gaara just said makes a lot of sense, but there's still the part of it that just says Gadget Sand, wipe out boards, turn 10.
But do you wipe out boards? You can prep it once, and then you can, it costs 2 mana for 2 damage. You will never do that.
Sure.
You can't wipe out boards. It's just
like late game, you're just safe against everything.
Are you? It's 2 mana. It's like, okay, 10 mana.
So if they make a big guy, you kill it. If they make a load of little guys, you just kill them all. But early game, I can see this is terrible, and Rogue needs that early game. So I'm really struggling to come to a coherent decision on this one.
I mean, what if it was just like, I don't know, some type of like Malagus Rogue where, you know, you want it to live like 1 turn, and then you just go to town with this after the Malagus lives 1 turn. I mean, you just win the game, right? So
it's only minions, but yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I actually think this card is, I wouldn't say it's broken good or anything like. I just think that this card is going to fit somewhere for Rogue.
I think, I feel like you do. I think, ChanManV. But what Gaara says is, with still holds, is that there's always a better choice for most decks. I think.
For example, Rogue has it's for against cheap minions. You use like Backstabs, you use Eviscerates, you use like your SI7 agent. You have already like cards for specific situations. Sure. Against expensive minions, you have Zap, you have like you have Wildspine Slayers. What do you want to actually kill with it?
What about Sherazin and stuff like that? Where, you know, like being able to cast, you know, just having more cards that just allow you to cast, you know, in a turn to summon that egg and or just crack the egg.
The problem is also it can only hit the minion. It can't go face. So you're also limited.
Yeah, that's true.
With that as well.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. So the Malgus example doesn't even work. Yeah, that's true.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah.
It's a minion.
Garbage.
Yeah, that makes it worse for sure. I forgot that there's actually 2 new cards too that Savit's released. So I'll try to add it to this as I'm doing this. But the next one is Cursed Castaway, rare card, 6 mana, 5/3 pirate, rush, Battlecry, Death Rattle, draw a combo card from your deck. Okay, so this allows you to draw a specific combo card. There's a lot of combo cards in Rogue. So question is there a specific combo card you're looking for?
I mean, Elven Minstrel is the one that springs to mind.
Yeah, draw a card that draws a card. Yep. It draws 2 cards. Yeah.
I feel that having this 3 health total just makes it prohibitively bad. I'd just rather play a Vilespine and have a thing live on the board and kill their minion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think it's too expensive for 6 mana.
Yeah, one of the 3 numbers needs changing.
Has there ever been a good 6 mana 5/3 card? I mean, I don't think we haven't had too many 5/3 cards.
And it's also random. That's a problem, right? Like you can just get an SI7 agent in late
I think if you play it, you make it so it's not random.
Yeah.
It's in a deck where there's only 2 Elven Minstrels or something like that, and
it just doesn't make the cut.
Yeah, it's just.
I just don't think it's good enough.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Okay.
And Rogue has Rogue had so many insane cards that didn't see play. You really have to keep that in mind. Like where people went like, wow, crazy. You know, like the guy that had like Battlecry, Death Rattle, give you like a potion. Stuff like that, which was on paper insane for Miracle Rogue, and then people ended up not even playing it in Miracle Rogue.
Jade Shuriken or whatever it is didn't even let you play a Jade deck. Well, you did, but it was like very fringe, absolute.
This is terrible.
Most polite.
Like Rogue has good cards that don't even see.
Yeah. All right, let's get moving a little bit now. Let's see, Mist Wraith, 4 mana, 3/5. Whenever you play an Echo card, gain +1/+1. Okay, so it's kind of Cheapshot helps us out too, right? I don't know if you get like a lot of cards until it's like late game, so you can buff this up to a 5/7 or something. But
if you've got an Echo card, you only need 1. You get pew. So if you've got 1 Echo card with it, you play the Echo card 3 or 4 times a turn, you're good.
Yeah. Let's see. What's Pickpocket's also an Echo card too, right? So, a random card to your hand from your opponent's class. Okay. So there's not an Echo card that's 1 mana, right? They're all 2 mana minimum, right?
Not yet.
I think so.
Okay, so I don't know. This card reminds me of I don't know, a little bit of what's the Unbound Elemental? Like the old school one that you can just buff +1/+1 every time you overload or something. Like I kind of have that feeling with this card. It's like it's right about the same range. Obviously it is a little bit more expensive, but it has a little bit more stats too because of it. But I don't know if it's going to.
I don't feel it will, but if a meta develops where there's a lot of 3 health minions, then maybe it's good enough. If the 3 attacks suddenly isn't too bad, and you can just dump it on turn 4 as a bad card.
But then you have to play these Echo cards. Like, are these Echo cards playable?
I mean, Pickpocket's a 1-card win condition, right?
Is it?
Yeah. In a War of Attrition, it's just a 1-card win condition.
Oh, I see what you mean. So you draw 5 cards, right?
Game,
you draw 5 cards. Yeah.
Doesn't matter that they're random, you just win the game. But that's probably more arena-based than real game-based.
Mm-hmm.
If I look at this, it doesn't strike me as a tier 1 meta deck.
I agree entirely, right? Yeah.
It doesn't even strike me as a tier 4 meta deck.
It's like Mist Wraith, Cheapshot, Pickpocket. I don't know, Kevin.
So have we had a card that has
me as stronger than the others?
Here's have we had a card? All right, this is gonna. I think it really just depends on what. Are there any other Echo cards except for these 2? And
for now, no.
But not in Rogue, but maybe there's some common ones that.
I mean, there's the taunt guy cards. The Echo for 3 mana.
Oh yeah,
That's
right. Gosh, I don't know. I think it's just in a weird spot. Like,
it's kind of like Free Shaman. It's better than Free Shaman on the power level. But it's like it's just
yeah, I mean, you summed
You
it
just
up,
said
right?
nothing.
The
You just said
implication
basically
there,
it's better than like a terrible deck. I mean, that's like.
better
I
than
mean,
most people do.
that's kind of like
Thanks.
Beast Street, isn't it? Like it's like they're pushing freaking Echo Rogue, right? And this is not very powerful. Like what do you?
But again,
Isn't it like-
they're giving people something to play around with. It's not always aimed
Yeah.
at the top decks. They're giving people, look, you look at those 4 cards, take away the Castaway, I think, but I can do some fun stuff with this. I can win my way to rank 15, whatever.
But doesn't it feel like that? It's like this new
I don't know
argument.
if they push it. They just put cards that have synergy together, and they let us work out the power levels. And obviously, we look at cards like this and go,
I mean, it could.
nah. But then you get players who go, hey, look at all this fun stuff I can do. I can play a Mistrade. Now it's a 4/6. Now it's a 5/7. Got 2 of your cards. Look at this.
I mean, I don't really look at this card. I don't really measure this card based on definitely not Pickpocket. I feel like this card works better with something like a Cheapshot or some like one of the maybe neutral minions that actually generates a minion. Because I can see Miss Wraith being a strong play like on turn 10 when you can remove another minion or 2 and then you play this and you got like a 6. You got a 6/8 on the board or something like that. Or it's it's the situation where you fill the board and you have a 6/8 to kind of anchor it. So, those type of plays are pretty decent. If you have this type of flooding rogue, I don't know. I'm reaching, but like I can't see a world. I can see a world where this is not.
If everything's got 3 health, then Mistrade is worth at least a look. But I'm reaching 2. I agree.
Yeah. And I don't know. And anything that usually has the word mist in it, not a good word to have in Hearthstone in your name because it's generally not played. But anyways, yeah, so kind of interesting cards. This Pickpocket we just talked about, Echo, add a random card to your hand from your opponent's class, 2 mana. I just don't love that. I mean, they have like another card too that I think it's like synergized.
It's just the world's worst ultimate infestation, right? Turn 10, draw 5 random bad cards.
Yeah.
It's like paying 2 mana to get a random card. That seems so bad.
How about 10 mana, draw 5 though?
Random cards from the opponent's class, which can be completely useless, seems also really bad.
Well,
It doesn't seem tournament worthy, but how bad is that?
But what if you have
play that card in some formats?
You have this card though, which
Now we're talking.
Now rogue weapon that's 4 mana 2/2 Spectral Cutlass, epic lifesteal. Whenever you play a card from another class, gain +1 durability. So
great, so I can not kill their minion again.
Yeah.
Tell me more about it.
Exactly. So how about that synergy? Is that enough
That's
to play
such
Pickpocket?
a grim card. I can't handle this card.
It's like if this would be at least 1 attack, and then you could OTK someone, but durability.
Yeah, how much durability does this card need to be good?
Even if it had infinite durability.
How about
would you play this?
How about 3 and the fact that it would keep its buffs and then it would regenerate itself in your deck? Maybe those things would actually make it good. Oh boy, wait, we already have a card that does that. So
yeah, this might be the worst card in the set, I think.
Oh wait, we have and it was and it costs 1 mana as well.
Yeah, it costs 1 as well. Yeah, in a deck that's completely built around it. That's This is. Yeah, when it comes to rogue weapons, they generally miss, and they recently hit with 1. But man, rogue weapons have never been good, man. Yeah,
rogues cards are designed to work with weapons because of the hero power.
Yeah.
So if the weapon's even half good, it's really dangerous.
But ChanMan, this card has lifesteal.
Yeah, don't have to play the lifesteal card anymore. That's nice. Saves you a card, but yeah, not a great card, but Rogue. I don't think Rogue's been getting that much love recently.
They get him to shot and
it's still been in every world championship.
I know, right? As long as Miracle exists, it's still going to be around. Quick break here. I want to give a shout out to our patrons, the folks that support the show. Always been the foundation. You can go to patreon.com/valuetown and make a pledge today if you enjoy the show and want to help us out, help us keep doing the show. But always want to take some time, thank the people that have been doing it for a while. Mike T, our legendary producer, and then a few others: Bryce L, Dave C, Devin Y, Paul H, Vincent G, Dan S, Aaron B, Keepa, Greg P, Jeff B, Greg B, Jeff B, Eric F, Brandon T, GoTrix2, and then Jacob P. Thank you so much, guys, man. You guys are always amazing, and all the patrons get a chance to partake in the deck of the week that we usually do on Monday nights too. We've taken a little break the last couple of weeks just because we have the expansion coming out, and we we're kind of we were out of decks to play, so we just, I just felt like it would be better to wait until the expansion comes out, but can partake there, and yeah, just check it out, patreon.com/valuetown. All right, getting back to the cards. I think we're finally oh no, actually we have Warlock cards. Warlock cards, man, this is taking a while to get through all these classes.
They always do.
Yeah, it's always fun. It's definitely a lot of fun. Bloodwitch, 4 mana, rare. At the start of your turn, deal 1 damage to your hero, and it's a 3/6. So it's a pretty big body for a Warlock card.
Doesn't seem that great, but we need the next 2 cards to really talk about it, I think.
Yeah, so we're bringing up the next 2 cards here. We've got Deathwebspider, which 5 mana, epic, battlecry. If your hero took damage this turn, gain lifesteal. So 4/6 beast. Pretty good. Definitely with lifesteal, it's definitely pretty solid. Duskbat, we've got here, same kind of thing. 3 mana, 2/4 beast, battlecry. If your hero took damage, summon 2 1/1 bats. So
I don't like the Duskbat personally.
Oh,
I'd like to rule this one out first.
Okay.
Because I think that any time you're in a situation where you can get the bats, the 2/4 body's not good enough. So if you're playing on turn 4 with a librarian, or playing on turn 5 and you've already played Bloodwitch, by that stage in the game, 2/4 is just not that great anymore, I don't think.
I mean, for sure it's gonna be weaker, right? In turn 5, so is there a way to hurt myself with like maybe 1 mana with a coin or something like that? I don't.
So you're looking at librarian, that's it.
Yeah, librarian. Well, librarian's a 2-drop, right? I mean, you could hear.
Librarian is a 1-drop.
Is it a 1-drop?
Yes, 1-drop. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, librarian, 2/1 librarian. Yeah. I was thinking of the.
So you get a 2/1,
guy,
2 1/1s, and a 2/4. I mean,
It works also. I think you can also set up the file boards with this later, because you get the 1/1, the 1 health and the 4 health. I mean, maybe
It doesn't feel like a great type of play though. Like, would I want to be defiling if I'm playing a card like Duskbat? That's kind of a.
Oh, honestly, this might actually be more like a zoo card.
Yeah,
because
I think it is.
We don't get Councilman, right? And we play you just flood the board with this.
Yeah.
At the same turn, you play like Flame Imps and whatnot, and it's very good.
Yeah.
I think it's good.
Yeah, Flame Imp's another one, right? Flame Imp's a really good one to
and the 2 mana card.
Okay, that's
that
better.
hits yourself as well.
There are some buff cards too, right? There's buff demon, obviously, but are there any buff all type of Warlock cards right now?
Not Warlock cards, but you have like the 5 mana Kobold Jabroni that buffs like 2 adjacent minions.
Yeah, the
+2/+2, which you play.
Fungal Mancer.
Like this, the Fungal Mancer. And I don't know if you play something. Maybe you will play more because you will have board flood.
I mean, if you get the Bloodwitch down, it auto initiates all of these.
So yeah, that's the next thing I want to look at is the Deathwebspider and the Bloodwitch.
Mm-hmm.
How often are we going to go 4 into 5 there and it live? Because if we do that, that looks good.
Yeah.
Like a 4/6 lifesteal for 5 is a really good Hearthstone card.
I think Bloodwitch is really good. Like, just think about how often times do minions actually survive multiple turns. Right. I think if any minion survive multiple turns, it's good for you. And 1 damage to yourself is not that big of a deal.
Well, you could use spellstones and things properly then in raids and stuff.
It's not a huge drawback. Like 1 damage is not like 2 damage. 2 damage would be insane. That's a big drawback. But 1 damage, you can Warlock has a lot of heal. And being able to buff spellstones consistently, I think that's a really good card.
Yeah.
Especially 4 mana slot is very powerful mana slot.
Yeah. That spellstone hasn't been used enough, the Warlock one. It's actually really good. But again, like they have so much.
But being able to double buff 1 spellstone with the same card is really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can still start playing spellstone more aggressively. At the moment, it's just living in control decks. But if you start building up a board and just buffing it incidentally, you can actually start using it as a taunt remover and an enabler for lots of other stuff.
See, like this
winning races.
Yeah, this kind of stuff feels like a Warlock. I even like it thematically. It's definitely good that they're going this direction. No more discard ban. No more, please. It'd been cool if the quest had something to do with damaging yourself. Kind of looking back at it now. Yeah.
Might get more quests. I don't think they've written the quests off.
Yeah. Okay, so I think
Control lock will be so insane.
Control lock? You think so?
Yeah, it just feels like controller could be insane.
Yeah.
Or Hellfire and stuff, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we're getting into the neutral cards now. Let's try to move through these a little faster because we're kind of, been taking our time here a bit, but we have a lot of cards, so we haven't really been taking our time. But hopefully, you guys are enjoying our discussion on it. 8 mana was a Gilnean Royal Guard. It's a rare card, 3/8, Divine Shield, Rush. Each turn this is in your hand, swap its attack and health.
Okay.
I guess if it's an
sure.
8/3, it's great, and you can trade into.
I think this fits the I'm a new player, my collection is small, and this is actually quite good as an 8/3 removal spell for 8 category, honestly.
Okay, yeah.
Just a
Agreed.
decent card that, like Kraken was the same, North Sea Kraken. It was basically sort of a budget card that actually wasn't awful.
North Sea Kraken was good. Like that wasn't even.
Right, but it's still
yeah,
only sort
it
of
was
fit
good.
into. I
Yeah.
feel this is the same sort of category. This doesn't look terrible. This gets into your opponent's.
I know where you're going with it. I mean, if this was an 8/3 Divine Shield Rush, then I would totally be on the same boat with you with Kraken. It's just it's a 3/8 half the time, which is really bad actually.
You choose when to play it.
Yeah, it's great.
But yeah, sure.
Yeah.
It's too slow. It's the body.
Yeah, it's not a tournament card, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, next we got 5 mana Dollmaster Dorian, legendary, 2/6. Whenever you draw a minion, summon a 1/1 copy of it.
I mean, if this card's good, it dies the turn you play it. If it's bad, then it's a 2/6 terrible card anyway.
Like, what are you playing in it? Like, you play Rogue? You play...
You play
Card
this
draw,
card,
Loot Hoarder deck.
you play this in Druid with Duskfallen Aviana, and then you play till you and then till you draw
Yes.
Aviana, and then you are the
Yes.
first one to play the 0 mana minion.
Oh, God. That's
The
true.
dream.
Yeah, I just think this card has to be
That's
bad.
true.
But if it's some sort of Loot Hoarder thing, that's where you would go with it, but I don't like it.
It's like, okay, Loot Horde, then you draw... What do you draw that's 1/1? I mean, is it maybe a
Or
Death
Loot
Rattle
Hoarders
deck? It's
and
just
some
maybe a
sort of-
Death Rattle deck, right? Like, that would be pretty good. Yeah.
And some sort of 3-card combo hiding in there. OTK Paladin, except that doesn't work anymore. That sort of thing.
It could be
Like this-
it could be some kind of enabler for OTK. Yeah.
Can
All right.
like just different minutes. But there's no Barnes anymore, so like with Barnes it would be playable maybe.
Maybe. Okay, let's see. 3 mana, 2/1, Ravencaller, Battlecry, add 2 random 1-cost minions to your hand. Oof.
Sure.
Fill
I
a
think
card.
this is like Hagatha material, right? Like,
Yeah, unless you're looking
Yeah.
at Hunter Quest, sure.
yeah, Hunter Quest, maybe, yeah. Hunter Quest might
You've
be.
got 4 Tolvirs suddenly.
Okay. It's kind of, yeah,
But
it's
yeah.
pretty much like a Tolvir. 2/1's so weak, though. Like, it's,
Yeah, it's grim. It's
yeah,
a
you
really
better
grim
synergize
card.
with
And-
playing cards somehow, yeah.
I mean, good. I don't want all the neutrals to be OP. We've just had a lot of neutrals we've seen in every deck just happen once.
Yeah. Anything that buffs a 1 health anymore? Like we lose the Paladin card, right? The Darkshire or is it Darkshire? It's
What's the Hunter thing where we play +3/+3 on it and then we get five boars?
Okay. Yeah.
You know what? Honestly, there could be decks where this card could be playable in like the odd decks, in the odd even decks, because just to fill out curves more consistently.
But it's such a, I mean, okay, great. It fills mana, but these cards, I mean, 2/1 sucks like on the board. So, I mean, what
True.
1-cost minion is going to really make that big of an impact? For
Yeah,
you?
it's just a
Like,
spell, isn't it? At this point?
Yeah.
It's funny that on average the 1-drops are stronger than the 2/1.
Yeah. So I mean, it has to
pretty bad.
synergize with playing, like being able to play a card. So, yeah, it's random 1-cost minions. It's kind of tough. Yeah, so it would have to be Hunter
pretty
with 1-drops and something.
It's
like
only
that.
Quest Hunter, honestly. Yeah,
Yeah,
it should be pretty good in Quest Hunter though, because
they seem to have given Quest Hunter a lot of tools. Like I think that Quest Hunter,
The problem with
people
Quest
will
Hunter
be
is the
trying
Quest-
Quest Hunter right from day one.
but the reward sucks. It's really that's the problem of a Quest
Yeah.
Hunter. Even if you complete the quest on curve, it's still bad.
Yeah,
That's the
it's
problem.
it is. It's not great, but at least it has some synergy with like Shaw now, like Houndmaster Shaw. You can get like maybe a mini combo there at the very end. But yeah, it's a very strange prize. Okay, next time we got Spell Shifter, 2 mana, damage, spell damage +1 each turn. This is in your hand. Swap its attack and health. So a lot of the swapping attack health stuff going on here.
This one feels like a downside. Some of the swappy ones feel like it might even be an upside, but on this one, I don't think you want a 4/1 like ever.
Mm-hmm.
So it feels like a big downside on top of a card that already isn't great.
Yeah, the swap effect on this card makes no sense. Why does it have that effect?
Yeah, I don't either. I mean, it might have like a back in the day when we had which was that card, the arcane card, that the 1 spell, the 1 mana spell. I mean, the swap is I don't mind the swap so much, but this the spell damage is interesting +1.
Yeah, like this could be playable sometimes maybe if it would not have the swap, but I think the swap makes it unplayable.
Yeah.
If you can't play it on curve.
Yeah.
Sometimes 50% of the time.
Yeah. Okay, next one. Swift Messenger, same kind of deal. Swaps attack and health in each turn. Rush. 4 mana, 2/6. So
This feels like it's okay in Arena. Like if you want it,
really,
because you can use the swap as do I want to kill
Batman.
1 big minion or do I want to kill 2 small ones? So you get that versatility with it.
you could play it to trade into like a whatever 5-drop, but I don't know.
That's what
I
I mean.
feel
If
like-
you want to kill off their army of 2/2s or whatever they're built up, you can actually just use it as a 2/6, kill 1, and it's still there. So I think the versatility might be underrated on this card. But in constructed, why? Why would you play it?
Would you rather have a Yeti or this card?
Yeah.
I think I'd rather have a Yeti.
Stop spoiling my attempt to make the card good.
No, I'm just thinking a card that looks worse than a Yeti on paper.
It's worse than a Yeti, yeah.
It's definitely worse. For me, it's worse than a Yeti. Yeah, it's like there's it's either weak on the board or it just trades outright, and I don't know.
It can't go face.
Not great. Yeah. Okay.
But
Next.
that's something we are going to have to get used to. Nothing's going to go face anymore.
Feels bad, man.
Yeah, feels bad, man. All right, Voodoo Doll, 3 mana, 1/1, battle cry, choose a minion, death rattle, destroy chosen minion.
I like this card.
This card's cool. Yeah.
I will play this card.
Yeah, the fact that this card targets something, it marks it. I think that whole design is pretty neat. Because we've had this whole element of eating something and then spitting it out later, or like you battle crying and get something and then death rattle your opponent gets something, but never this kind of thing.
5 mana kill a thing in Mage can't be that bad, right?
Yeah.
5 mana kill a minion of your choice in Mage.
But
Seems
another
okay.
thing is, it gives actually Warlock a tool to compensate for the only downside right now. Warlock is very bad at killing giants, I think, right now.
Sure.
And this is insane with Defile as well.
Yeah, you play this in Defile and kill the one thing that doesn't fit the chain.
Exactly.
I think buffing control log. I don't know. But
This is like the priest spell, because the priest has a card that marks somebody, right? But so much better. It's like cheaper.
That's also
it's
really
an actual
important,
minion. I mean, this card's
because
like,
it's not a spell. You can do things like Dragon's Fury. You can do. There's reasons to play a minion, not a spell. Sometimes, so this will have things it can do as well.
Oh no. The priest one you actually steal, right? So that's
Right.
actually better. Maybe I'm thinking of corruption or just the
Yeah.
warlock spell. Yeah. So this is kind of like the warlock spell.
A
This
minion
just
with a
seems-
spell effect is really powerful in other ways, so you can bypass certain downsides of other
this
cards.
seems so insane with Defile though. Because
it does
usually,
seem funny with Defile.
because there's like oftentimes one big minion and a bunch of small ones.
Yeah.
And oftentimes they play around Defile by not playing one HP
Right,
minions.
right.
So this is like a full clear against like any board.
I mean, isn't that just kind of like a zealot anyways? I mean, you're going to be doing 6.
No,
I mean, you actually do 4 damage with a zealot, but
I think
so
it's
this
better.
is
Because you get
Okay.
to rid of any minion as well, like a big minion.
I think
like
it's
the
cool
Sunkeeper
though.
Tarion.
Yeah, I think it's definitely cool though. It's
Yeah,
triggerable
because it's
yeah.
neutral. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I mean,
Every class
it gives
can
your
do this.
opponent like this scenario too, where he can choose what to. You can kind of control what dies too. So
It reminds me a
cool.
bit
Good
of
with
a
whirlwind
BGH.
effect as well.
You know, BGH was kind of like that. You know, it was the neutral heart removal that everyone could play for meta, but it's like more flexible.
well,
kind of-
it takes more. It takes a little more skill too in this one because there is that added turn, right? So
Yeah.
Or there
Druid
could be
can
an added
ref it.
turn. Could be an added turn.
It's kind of crazy. Yeah, imagine Druid. Yeah, Druid can ref it, draw a card, and then kill any minion. Druid doesn't have hard removal. So this is neutral is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Warrior can play this with Acolyte of Pain and Whirlwind and just like...
Yeah, it's better than Execute. It's actually better than Execute, if you think about it.
Yeah, it's true. All right, Witch's Cauldron, 0/4, 3-mana. After a friendly minion dies, add a random shaman's spell to your hand. So and yet another card with added another shaman.
Don't look at me for this one.
Yeah.
I
can't judge these. I can't judge these shaman cards that give me random shaman like spells.
I mean, it's not 4. Don't we have a 4/2 that does the same thing, and we just run our minions into their thing and draw actual cards from our deck?
And it's an epic card.
Yep.
You just spend 400 dust.
But what if you play Cultmaster and this? You get double cards.
Yeah,
Oh,
I think Cultmaster's fine compared to this, but no.
Who wants random shamans?
Yeah.
Nobody wants random. Like everyone has access to it, and nobody wants random shaman.
It's like all this draw random shaman cards, and it's just like, okay, well, what else do I do with shaman? Like, how does shaman live? Like, what do we do? And it's like, I'm glad we have this value at the end of shaman games, but what do we do in the meantime? So, I can't see playing this in elemental or anything like that. We'll have to see what comes about.
I actually can't see where that card is played ever.
Oh, 0/4.
Yeah. Right?
I mean, it better be like, give me free cards, like the
that's
next
what I'm saying
turn.
about Cultmaster. At least that's
It's gotta be play free cards for me the next turn. I mean, like
it should be mana tide level.
It should be,
and mana tide is almost
portal
unplayable.
level. Like, yeah, this is crazy. Okay, next one is Witchwood Grizzly. This is the crazy 5-mana 3/12 beast taunt battle cry. Lose 1 health to each card in your opponent's hand.
Probably the best card in the set.
This is sick.
It's
card.
definitely strong.
Like,
imagine in Priest. I want to go back to Priest to my beautiful 6-drop, and then you have this as a 12/12. That's good, man.
This is insane. Like, I
And
mean,
it
even the
has
Druid
taunt.
card we talked about, the Druid that resummons this as a 3/12 solid taunt. Like, no
This doesn't
backdraw.
even need
Yeah.
taunt. This doesn't even need taunt.
I know, but just on top of that, you get taunt anyways. Like, throw taunt on top of it. Yes, I mean it's like good night, Silverhand Paladins. It's you're not gonna be able to do much against these type of decks. Like, so this is kind of cool because it's good for Druid. It's potentially good for Hunter. It's potentially good for Priest. Not universal to every class, but those three, I mean, they're very, very viable in those classes.
What's like the worst case scenario for this card?
Control mirrors?
3/7, 3/8.
Control mirrors.
You're talking
Really
about
bad in
you're
control
talking
mirrors.
about what? Yeah, playing against it. Yeah.
Like you can't use it to kill your opponent in a grindy match because it's going to be like a 3/4 or something.
It's like Bog Creeper on steroids, basically. Not Bog Creeper, like a Tar Creeper on steroids.
Yeah.
Like, it's the better version of Tar Creeper or the Tar Lord, right? Is it Tar Lord? Tar Lord, right?
Yes.
But then you could still save it to like late game, where people have to use their resources.
I mean, there's ways to play bad cards, but in those situations, it's just going to be kind of.
They will not always have like 9 or 10 cards.
But this card by itself is already a combo priest. It's like a minion that's already been buffed. Like it's already gotten the Divine Spirit. You only need one Divine Spirit on this to win the game. Like, so it's a really strong because the priest can heal this up too, to for whatever.
I mean, in the real world though, it's a 3/9 a lot. I mean, 3/9's nice stats, and so is taunt. Is it completely insane? It's pretty good at it.
3/9 for 5 is great.
Yeah,
I'd play that for sure. I mean, that's basically better than a Sludge Belcher, and Sludge Belcher was
sure. Okay,
and we played a lot of Sludge Belcher back in the day.
Yeah, 1 or 2 still do sometimes.
Yeah. So I think this card's really good. It's probably going to be a 3/8 a lot, on curve, but I just think that the utility of this thing and just the value in which some of these cards generate with this guy is crazy. It's like really, really good.
And the fact it's a beast as well just like adds
for Hunter
another level of silliness to it.
Yeah,
and
for
Druid.
You resurrect this as a 3/12 taunt, which is absolutely insane.
Yeah, because it's already been there once and killed a load of stuff.
You could Servitude it, right? This is actually a card you would want to Servitude potentially, and
like compare this to the cartoon card, right? It was a 4-mana 4 Wait, 410, the one that got buffed if you play 2 Katoon cards.
What?
You had the Druid Katoon card. That
The 5/7?
like no, the 4-drop. That required you to play Katoon buff cards. Was it a 410 or 412?
I'm not remembering what card you're talking about.
I'm not remembering, but it exists.
It
The four,
exists. What did it do? Wait. Oh,
got
you're
buffed
talking
when you
about
play
the one that added 5 health. Yeah. Okay, I know what you're talking
Was
about.
it for
Twilight
12?
Acolyte, was that it?
Yeah. God, I almost forgot
It
about
was-
that card. Wow.
It was
Yeah.
really strong when you got it off, but it required you to play 2 Katoon buff cards.
Well, you
before.
almost never got it off on curve.
Oh, I know what you mean.
Because of
Yeah.
that, right? Like it was rare that you got it off on curve.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 410, sure. It's. I guess it's kind of like that, but this is guaranteed. Like you don't.
Yeah, it's guaranteed.
Yeah,
and you
like,
can
you don't have-
resurrect
there's
it
not
any
much.
test taunt.
Right. And what's crazy is that it's like it's so anti-aggro because people are dumping cards, right? When they're playing aggro by turn 5, they're probably down to 3 or 2 cards.
Imagine
So
play this
you're
on
just
5 and then and spreading plague on 6.
Yeah.
It's like, get out of my game.
I know, exactly. So
Yeah, how many
yeah,
silences can you run? You can run 2 silence without ruining an aggro deck at most.
they totally
done.
shut down the at least aggro
Yeah.
paladin. Aggro paladin. There's been
just done.
so many bad hate cards for aggro paladin, basically. So,
Good.
oh, that's it. Those are the last 3. Okay. Well, it's a good one to end on, that Witchwood Grizzly. Strong cards, cool cards. You know, like I'm happy that the power level isn't insane. You know, like that we were talking about this a little bit about this pre-show that, you know, one thing that we noticed was maybe it's like the beginning of the year, you know, like the first expansion, they didn't want to start off too crazy. You guys think that played a big role in it?
I do, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's and I think a lot of the cards have got a lot of thought going into them as well. So
Mhm.
I think we'll see more of them than maybe First Instinct show, just because they have something going on with them all the time.
Yeah. Agreed. Gar, what do you think? You think this is a good direction? Less powerful cards and, you know, just generally.
Yeah, what I'm always worried about is that if it's a little bit too weak, that it becomes another Grand Tournament expansion where we just don't play the cards.
No,
Yeah, no, it is like
that's
that.
bad.
We have
That's
still
bad.
Knights of the Frozen Throne and the Kobolds expansion, so that we just play like Control Lock and Control Priest, just because the new cards are just too weak, can't compete with the existing decks, that we just don't play the new cards and then it's completely an irrelevant expansion. And I'm a bit worried that the Echo and Rush, maybe not as much, but the Echo effect will be similar to Inspire. And like we could tell very fast that Inspire is very weak, right? I think as soon as we saw the first Inspire cards, we were like,
Yeah.
man, this is probably gonna hit them, miss the mark. And then we saw so many new Inspire cards, and we knew this will not work, right? Because you don't want a hero power. You don't have the extra mana. You want to curve out in Hearthstone. And I feel the same with Echo. Like you don't want to play like infinite amount of bad cards. So it could be, and they keep releasing Echo cards. So I'm worried that people will just not play those.
Totally disagree with that, actually.
I think the Echo scales really well.
Yeah, I think Echo is completely different than Inspire because of the versatility, right? Like I think you could. I don't necessarily know if it's an innovate or another iteration of like Inspire, but the thing about Echo is that, you know, it's got the versatility of like spending mana, right? Inspire you can only do one time. And designing around this kind of Inspire thing was actually really tough because of it too, you know, because they had a minion associated with it. So with Echo, I think there's more flexibility in what they can do with it. And then again, like I was saying before, I think it's just really smart because, you know, instead of requiring you know, we have this issue with 30 cards in our decks, and always having to figure out, okay, like when you're going against that, you always have to either keep making these cards even more dynamic and adding more. These things do 2 things now instead of 1 thing. Are they synergized? With Echo, you just create a card that could be that's essentially 5 cards or 3 cards or 2 cards, depending on how much you choose. You know, and it helps you fill your mana, your leftover mana, especially when you're down in cards. So I think it's really good. I
think the Echo
Echo's great.
cards are too fair for the way how we play Hearthstone right now. Right now, it's all about mana cheating and doing like the most broken thing you can do for as as little mana as possible.
Yeah.
And if you play like Skull of the Manari and get a Void Lord out, you can't be like fair with your get a bunch of free mana 2/4 taunts. It's too fair.
Well, there are definitely cards that were like, I always make that meme that's 2016 balance, right? Like it's definitely way lower power level than we've seen recently. But
I think with Echo and Spellstones coming through together, if that's an ongoing thing, then we are going to have a lot of, do you want to save for the future or burn a card now? I think that might be a thing that's going well overall.
Yeah. So yeah, I think I'm been okay with Echo. Whether some of these cards are good or not. Clearly there's some misses. I mean, there has to be some misses, but I think we're going to see some Echo cards, and it's going to add content to the game too. Instead of having some of these blank turns or these turns where you're just waiting to top deck, Echo cards are not bad to top deck. Echo cards are actually really good to top deck in a lot of situations. So it helps with that.
It wasn't also
almost better as turn 10 cards.
I mean, it wasn't also that every Inspire effect was bad. There were good Inspire cards.
There were, but again, they had to be careful. Like Inspire was obviously limited to the hero power, so the hero power was already a knock against you. So just having to spend that 2 mana, so having to design something that takes into account something that's undervalued, it was tough because you had to balance 2 things at once. So it was just weird. And I mean, I think the only Inspire card that we really played was Thunderbluff, right? That was like I think that was the only thing. Was there another Inspire card that we played regularly?
I think I played a lot of Arena back then, so there's quite a few, but in Constructed, I don't think there were many.
Yeah.
Wasn't there like Paladin, the Paladin buff card? I think there was a Paladin buff card that when you hero powered it buffed.
Oh really? Okay. There was the monkey. There was.
Oh yeah, the Murloc, the Murloc Knight as well.
Oh, the Murloc Knight. Yeah, but even the Murloc Knight was just played some. I mean, there was a while, I guess. There was like definitely a period where that was a really strong deck. So, yeah. Anyways, point is I think it was much harder designing those cards, and they whiffed for the most part in that expansion. I don't think they're whiffing here. I think the very least Rush is solid. And then Echo is going to, I think Echo is going to surprise some people. Okay, why don't we take 1 or 2 questions here? We got Ahmed N, and then we'll kind of close things out. He asked, can we have a play? What is this? Can we have a play group feature which has data of professional play groups that are shared as discrepancies between data of good and average players? Wait, man, this is hard to read. I should have read this first. He usually asks really.
I feel that's an HS replay question, right?
Oh, is it? Okay, maybe it is.
Can you separate out the good from the
just the discrepancy? Yeah. So, is it possible to do? Absolutely, it's possible to do. I mean, I can tell you that we've talked about this feature. We've talked about this kind of like, I don't know. There's different ways of talking about it, but we've definitely talked about this, and could be something that we do in the future on hsreplay.net. I'm not going to promise or say anything exactly as to when we do it, but it is something that's very, very possible what we have. There's another question we had here. Oh, top 3 so far. Marv GM asks in the Twitch chat, what's our top 3 cards so far that we've seen? Any favorites?
I like the Priest one.
Yeah.
The Priest one was so cool. I like the Shaman 2-drop with the even, but it's like you first have to build a deck around it. Yeah, I like the Warrior Legendary one, the 5 mana one as well.
Which one?
Which one was that? The Rush Worgen.
Oh, the Rush Worgen, yeah.
Which we talked about today.
Yeah.
That was pretty
I like
cool.
the 1/1 Priest card.
Yep, that's by far my favorite.
The Voodoo Doll.
Voodoo Doll, okay.
Oh yeah,
that's good.
Yeah, that one is super cool.
And I know the 4/4 7 mana Warlock. Let's keep playing Control Warlock cards. Got to be mentioned. It's so powerful.
Oh, man.
And Dustiana best card.
Dustiana is definitely
Actually, that's a really cool
not
card.
the
It's
best
just
card.
is unplayable.
Oh my god. For me, it's going to be Chameleos, and I mean the last dragon or the last beast we talked about too. Super good, and kind of looking through the rest of them.
Man, the Paladin 2-drop is also cool. I wish it's playable.
Yeah.
I'm kind of glad it's not.
God. I think that maybe those 2 just for now. I mean, I kind of like Hagatha too, but I just not sure what we're going to be playing around with Hagatha. And then let's see, a couple more questions here. Question for L0rinda from Paradox: which Hearthstone player would be good at cosplaying members of the First Order? Oh,
so
God.
Paradox looks exactly like General Hux from Star Wars, so that's
He
why he's
does.
asking that question.
Well, Gaara looks like an Imperial officer, right? Doesn't he? Looks kind of like an Imperial
Make him
officer.
go out to be the bad guy here.
Oh man, who would I be? I could be Chirrut. I'm one with the Force is with me. The Asian joke. All right, Vegetarian Stinkin', what is your opinion on Hearthstone being so effing expensive with multiple expansions a year? Oh God. All right, last question. Is it really that? I mean, they're giving us more free stuff, guys. I mean, it's, they're giving us 70 packs for the, $50 that we buy now. They've given us a free pack for the last week and a half now for finishing quests. I'm sure we're gonna get like a free 8 packs on the first day. I'm sure we're getting all those things. Yeah. So it's like,
talking about the quests. I still don't like how the quests are right now. Like I play on free servers and I can refresh only once, and I get like the rogue quests, and I don't play rogue. I don't want to play rogue. And then what do I do with these quests? I refresh it once. Like I'm stuck with like rogue quests on all free servers. It doesn't feel better than before. You get better rewards, but
well, what do you want them to do? I mean, the whole point of the quest is to get you to play the other classes, right, and stuff. So
is it?
Yeah, I mean, it's not aimed at us. It's aimed
it's aimed at like general
more
people.
Free to play, etc.
Yeah.
So
the argument for the dungeon runs was they didn't give rewards for dungeon runs because they don't want people to feel forced to play dungeon runs. So why do they want to force people to play classes they don't want to play just to?
Well, I mean, dungeon is
the blood version is if you want free stuff, earn it. It's like you can do it in casual. You can do a lot of them against friends, that sort of thing. So I don't think it's that hard to earn it. It's not like they're forcing you to work for your pack. It's just they want you to experience the game while you're getting your packs. And in fairness, a pro player, if you don't want to take out an hour or two to play casual mode rogue, everyone understands that, but they're not really aimed at us. We've got the cards to a large degree already.
Yeah, I can, I've definitely experienced it a little bit, as a casual player sometimes, where it's like, maybe you don't have time this week, right? But you still hop on just to finish the quest. And sometimes it's nice to like have something that you normally wouldn't play. And, I just hop on H's Replay to see like, okay, what rogue should I play, right? Or what shaman should I play here just to finish this quest? And, it actually ends up being amusing most of the time when I do it. It's never totally a grind. It's different when you're like, you care a ton about your rank, and you can't lose. Yeah. And I mean, there's like a total different effect to that, and so you have to play casual probably, right, to finish these things. So
but a lot of the fun for the more casual players is building the collection and building. I've got 28 cards. I need 100 dust to finish off my XYZ deck.
Yeah.
So you spend 2 or 3 games that you don't necessarily want to play earning a pack, and then you open your pack and you finish your deck, and now you jump back into rank.
Yeah.
I think it's aimed at those guys.
Yeah. So it's something we all have to deal with. I mean, I do the same thing. There's times where it's just like, oh, I don't like that. I try to get a new one and so still something that sucks. And I just have to kind of wait there. But the nice thing right now is that, you still get, I mean, I guess you don't want to queue it up because you get one a day. So how does it work with a quest? If you don't finish the quest that day, you get 2 quests that give you packs, right? The next day. Right? Like,
you build it for 3 and then you have to start.
Yeah, you have to build it 3. So you at least have 3 days to like figure it out. So I haven't missed out on any of packs. I mean, I don't think you guys have either. But yeah, just part of having a game that appeals to a lot of different skill and hardcore versus just casual type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, why don't we wrap up? I completely lied, L0rinda. I said that we'd be here for 90 minutes, and lo and behold, we are past the 2-hour mark.
I don't know a card review that's ever run on time.
I know. Ever. No, but I think we did a good job. I think you had some really good discussion on a lot of these cards. So hopefully everybody will enjoy that and, definitely forgive us for going at least too long. There's some people that love long episodes. But want to do some shout-outs before you take off, man? Thanks for being on the show.
No, I'm just happy to be here. It's been fun. Give me a follow, I guess, on Twitter, L0rinda Games. That's it. That's good for me.
All right, cool. Gaara?
Yeah, shoutouts to my Twitter as well, @TempoGaara, and also to my stream, twitch.tv/GaaraBestShaman, streaming every day.
Yeah.
Tomorrow is my card review or card
Oh,
reveal.
it's hype. What time
4
is that?
p.m.
Okay,
4 p.m. CET.
Okay, so
I
that's
guess
like
as it was 2
that's like
hours
10
ago,
a.m.
I should
here.
remind people. Yes. I should,
So-
6 a.m. for you. I
16
should remind people
hours.
it's Coco America tomorrow as well, as it was 2
So
hours ago
we-
since you mentioned that.
16 hours from now, roughly.
Alright, so we're gonna see a Gaara horror movie like we've been seeing for a lot of these like these card reveals, or
I didn't
a
want to
happy
do the
story.
same thing.
Happy story, yeah. Be original and not do a horror movie, right?
I think it was funny.
Okay, yeah, definitely hype. Yeah, definitely check that out, guys. It's gonna be cool to see what card. I'm excited to see what you get. It's gonna be a shaman card. That'd be pretty epic. The shaman card.
With spells.
Exactly. Now I'll round things out. Thanks to the two of you guys for doing the show, of course. Everybody in the chat. I think a lot of good comments and everything happening in the chat today about the cards we were talking about, and some even providing some information that we might have forgotten. So thank you for that. You can find the show on iTunes as well as Google Play and in SoundCloud.com/ChanManV. Just look up Valley Town or look up Hearthstone and you'll see us. If you like us, leave us a 5-star review. It really helps out. And you can also find the VODs on youtube.com/hsreplay.net as well as youtube.com/ChanManV. So that's going to be it for today, guys. So for L0rinda, Gaara, and myself, ChanManV, we'll see you next time.
Do you see me?